All right. All right. Thank you for anyone who is joining me this afternoon. Yep, it is afternoon. All right. My goal for this stream is finish up the breakdown portion of Shy Lily's stream. Oh, sorry. My goal to yeah, my goal in this stream is to finish up the breakdown portion of the Google Doc. We're going to be starting back off on the portion of with Shy Lily stream where Cinder breaks that all down. And I do want to mention a couple other things that have recently happened. The whole thing with Imaru-chan, I believe her name is, with the whole thing that happened at TwitchCon with one of with a creep assaulting her out of nowhere, and the fact that Twitch still does not have proper security. I'm sorry, but women are not safe at TwitchCon. After that whole thing happened, I would suggest for any women who are attending there to just outright leave. The fact someone like Imaru just suddenly that happened to her, and she's one of the and she's quite a big content creator, and from from my knowledge, she hasn't done really anything terrible. She is someone who just minds her own business, just streams to the thousands of viewers every stream, and honestly, she is entertaining enough that she has a viewer base. She has a fan base. And the fact that Twitch couldn't even protect one of their own big streamers like this just goes to prove that Twitch is not antiquated enough to protect or even give their own security, proper security. And the fact that they banned Amaru's personal security that she hired says mountains about them. And yeah, Twitch is I am never streaming on Twitch. Um I'm eventually going to start doing multi-streaming on most likely Rumble, maybe X, if I'm going to be honest, because I've got a decent following on X that I might be streaming on there as well. I do want to start that after I get done with the Cinder Google Doc, because I do want to start multi-streaming, and I'll just have to get used to that. But yeah, um, my main thing, like I said, my main thing that I want to get done this stream is, of course, the breakdown of the Google Doc. I don't know how many more streams I'm going to be doing trying to break down this dang Google Doc, but I do want to get at least a breakdown finished up today. Hopefully, I can get more done before Cinder's stream at 4 o'clock, and I do want to catch that. Cinder's next stream. But yeah, that's what I have planned for this stream today. So, thank everyone who is here today. And let's go ahead and continue, shall we? Let me I will be just let me get things set up. All right. Here I am. All right. And now for a quick recap of for people who don't know, this portion of it is Shy Lily's stream. The Cinder is breaking this whole down, like I said before. We are going to be going over the rest of this, and just like my previous streams, if there is previous information that was gone over in the other sections, I will be skipping over that because I've already gone over all that in my previous sections, especially anything that was contained in the nanolist section of the document. And All right, let's go ahead and read, shall we? Shiley didn't hold back at all on her stream, telling her viewers how she really felt about me. She went full mask off and convinced the public it was completely justified, mocking, saying it's all just business. If it wasn't evident by her tweet, you'll see from her stream that Shy Lily is not a reliable or trustworthy narrator. 4/28, 2025. This happened shortly after Cinder got canceled. Shy Lily VOD. Okay. The business eye should be green with a dollar sign. Yeah, but or maybe like a little knife. Sorry, this is going to be my way of coping with this. You're going to have to just sit through this. You're going to have to sit through these distasteful comments. It's simply business. Throughout her stream, Shy Lily justifies her petty jabs at me as a way of coping, just like her tweet. She continually makes fun of the phrase, it's just business. She was the only one who purposely lied about what I meant by it to make it look bad on me. You don't have to give me biddies and shimony to make me feel better. We're not like that in here. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but like coping, okay? Coping. Yeah, that is pretty petty. I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to go back on business tonight. It's just business as usual. Petty. I also just saw someone feeling bad or taking the apology seriously and feeling dumb about it. I'm going to be honest. I'm having a hard time being upset with anyone who still trusts and forgives her because I'm having a hard time being upset with anyone who still trusts and forgives her because I say this in all honesty. The reason it worked for so long is because her words are sweet as butter. And chances are you probably simply just as easy manipulate as everyone else. If you've read all these and still see nothing wrong with it, give it a few years. Experience will show you what the fuck is behind those messages. Charlie continues to discredit anything I said in my apology, manipulating the audience to see things her way. You're probably simply just as easy to manipulate as everyone else if you don't. The only thing that was difficult was the first night after dropping the first doc. The first Google Doc, sorry, Docky, sorry, this was the only tough night. That was the only tough one. It was 10 a.m. I had to go to bed and just scared the heck of what was a little manipulator could possibly come up with overnight, and what a shit show you could possibly wake up to when you have a platform that they use to manipulate hundreds of thousands of people with. Charlie Lee was terrified about how I could manipulate my way out of this, which is why I believe the documents were posted when they were, so I wouldn't be able to respond. It's literally just hearsay. The entire apology, and worst of all, throughout the whole hearsay, is just full of bullshit. Charlie doesn't know what hearsay is. One personal account is not hearsay. You've already seen the bullshit put out against me in Nano's document, and by the end of Charlie's stream, you'll see more. Which, of course, we have seen all of that. It has been a week, hasn't it? I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm actually just really sad. It's how I cope. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. If you don't understand, this might sound so fucked up and psychotic, but I just need to laugh. Let me cope. Shirley Lee was gleeful over my cancellation. I highly suggest that you check it out yourself. Everything that is publicly available is through receipts. Needless to say, more stuff has happened, needless to say, but most of these things don't have receipts, or the receipts have personal and private stuff attached to it that's just you just can't share. Some of the stuff we might actually talk about today is hearsay because that's just my own experience of what happened in person. It's my word against whoever else wants to challenge it, and that's okay, but we made sure we all agree on everything we put online will only be receipts, only. Hold on. We agree that but we made sure that we all agree that everything we put online will only be receipts. Only receipts that we have, nothing else. No emotions, no experience, no hearsay, no nothing. Only receipts. So obviously there's more. There's more receipts too, but those contain info that's just it contains sensitive stuff about others themselves or even the criminal herself. Oh. know why Siri went off on my phone. If the more proof of the claims wasn't shown due to the containing personal info, like Shy Lily said, I have no idea what it'd be if not what's already been shown and centered in this document. It didn't seem to have the problem putting my evidence together. I didn't seem to have the problem putting my evidence together. She may be talking about my messages with Numi, and maybe Numi didn't want that to be made public, or Shiley giving a bullshit reason why the full context in those messages weren't shown, and the evidence she claims to have doesn't exist. Shiley also calls me a criminal in another petty insult. God, when she said that when she tried to bring me into, okay, I know what she said, that, and she tried to make this thing with me. We were doing a collab, and she was just like, oh, the Charizard and Blastoise of V-Card doing the gags. Oh, like, how dare you sit there and pretend to become some box legendary or something. You didn't create Wait, what? Oh, the Charizard and Blastoise of V-Card doing the oh, like, how dare you sit there and pretend to be some box legendary of something you didn't create. Disgusting. Trust me, we all cringed, but people sometimes get excited and they do cringeworthy stuff. There was a lot of animosity behind Shy Lily's words here. Why? Yeah, this whole portion here is this has something to do with V-Card. What? I have no idea as of yet. It is a typical narcissistic manipulation fashion like this whole document. Like I said, if you don't see it that way, I don't blame you. Chances are you're too young and naive. You're just as gullible and easy to manipulate if you don't see it. I fully get it. I don't support it. I hope you eventually see it, but it's typical. I take accountability for nothing. I shoved the blame over to my man. I knew nothing. Everything was behind my back. I'm sorry you feel this way. Like, come on. Oh, dear Lord. Shalili manipulated her audience to her side, basically calling them stupid if you don't see things her way. Yeah, basically that's what Shalili was doing. Companies don't want to have bad PR, It is just it's just business fashion. When a company has an employee fuck up, guess what? The company has to take action because of the employee. The company has to pay damages and make amends for the employee. It's just business, is what our little friend Snake would say. Yeah, Charlie's being petty again. You burned your cinder merch. Honestly, if I can't encourage you, you paid for. If I can't encourage you, you paid for it, and you do what the fuck you want. But if I can encourage you to do something, donate it. Okay, but again, you do what you want to do. If that's how you cope with this, that's always okay. But two things: not to defend anything of what she's done, but you're just a reviewer. You don't have to atone for someone's sins and feel bad about the good times you've had, whether they were fake or not. Doesn't matter. You had a good time. Those are your memories to keep, But on top of that, again, if you cope by burning your merch, I ain't judging. You cope the way you want to cope. I cope through memes and making fun of things. That also isn't fucking perfect. But if you have it in you, you can cope with it and try to donate everything you got. Any shirt, sweater, figurine, plushie, whatever the fuck it is, just donate. Shy Lily, before I continue with this, Shy Lily is literally trying to manipulate and tell, which she did unfortunately accomplish to a degree, to encourage the Pyro Pups to burn or donate and give away their merch, for Cinders merch that they paid for. It's one thing that always bugs me. No matter what side it is on, someone posts online of a video or a picture of them burning said thing. When all honestly, that doesn't hurt the company at all. You're just burning your own property that you paid for with your own money. It's like when the whole years ago. This some of you may not have known this, but years ago, Carrot, that the clothing company known for work attire, had been caught up in some scandal. I don't quite remember it was, but they pissed off enough people that people were posting online and burning their Carrot clothing, jackets, hats, whatever. And my first thought was, that stuff is not cheap, and you guys are burning perfectly good clothing. If you wanted to do something, just donate it to a Goodwill or something, and then go buy a different brand, or just go buy a different type of work coats. There are plenty out there. So that sort of thing has always been very cringe, in my opinion. Shy Lily encourages viewers to donate any merchandise they have, but doesn't disavow burning it either. Yeah. Dear Lord. The thing with the no drama rule is every time you have rules like this, there is a line that cannot be crossed. Because once the line is crossed, it's fair game, and based on people's reaction, I don't think anyone blames me for getting involved in speaking up and strongly speaking about it. Once a certain line is crossed, it's fair fucking game. I don't give a fuck what kind of rules or morals I've got. It's fair fucking game. Lily is rated and reacts exactly how you expected. It's when the dominoes fall, the dominoes fell. The actual starting point, the dominoes fell when one thing leaked, one singular thing, like 5 or so days ago, one thing leaked, a singular thing, and I go, it was about me being slandered, throwing all kinds of accusations around to Nano, making me seem problematic, weird, making me sound like a person someone wouldn't have to work with, because who does those things? One thing did not leak 5 or so days ago, but by what Bao said, Shally messaged her on Friday, April 18th, about what Nano told her. 5 days before the stream was Wednesday, April 23rd. When Bao was brought into things after her surgery, as the timeline at the top of this page shows, one thing leaked 2 weeks before the Shiley knew about this for 2 weeks by the time her stream, and in the time never said anything to me. The things Red said weren't slander, and below you'll see Shiley admitted that herself. They were saying I dodged collabs with them. Collabs that had like 5 fucking other people in there. Collabs I was thrown into in a big ass group that and simply said, sorry, can't do. I have something that day. One of them was a dentist thing. I didn't have it on the specific day, but I just didn't want to. The day after the dentist, I simply just didn't fucking want to. And the other one, yeah, I dodged. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, one of them I did, because that one I already knew, and the other one, yes, I dodged. But you know what's weird? The one person that in the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. What about the 6 of the people who were just looking at me dodging and going, oh wait, okay, she's busy. It's kind of weird that the only person that has a reason to be wary was actually weary. What about the 6 of the people that also just left hanging where I said, sorry, I'm busy? They just took it and were like, okay, we'll just replace someone else. Cool. You know, it's called projection, because she fucking knew. She knew. So anyways, I was accused of dodging, and somewhat fairly I did do once. So Shy Lily is basically just admitting that she dodged several collabs with Cinder. So Cinder didn't lie, and Shy Lily is admitting it. Okay. Let me take a drink real quick. Shy Lily starts by talking about dodging collabs. Here's what Red said. Lately dipping out of collabs they were both part of at the last minute, and now ghosting her messages. Cinder raided her a couple times in the past week, and Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. The one and only collab she can be talking about here was the Repo collab that happened on 3/21/2025. Here are the first messages of the collab being planned. It was originally going to be on 3/15/2025. Charlie said she was available. Are you guys down for repo Saturday? Let me know. If not, maybe the next week then. Like 4 hours. I'm down. Please recover well. If Saturday works for everyone else, I can see if I can move. I think it's work probably Saturday better for, to be honest speaking. Excuse me. One of our friends couldn't make it the 3:15 date for the collab because she wanted to include everyone. The collab was rescheduled 3:21. Lily said she was free again. I don't know if I can. I'm at a bad mental space, so right now I don't know if I can group collabs. I don't want to bring the mood down by accident. But I'd love to come. But if it's this week, I don't think I can. How about we move repo to Friday next week then? I want to do this lobby for sure, or actually Thursday. All right, there's the dates and stuff. 21st Friday would be better. I can't do next Friday, Thursday, but I'm free Friday. It's Friday. For sure, Friday next week. Thursday works, but I wouldn't stream there. All right, let's go. What do you think? I definitely want to be able to play with everyone. I hope you're both feeling okay. On stream, Silently said she had something that day. She dodged a collab and that it was a dentist appointment, but then she says didn't have the appointment on the day of the collab, but the day after the dentist, she didn't want to collab. Well, here's Shiley's tweet about her dentist appointment from 3/8/2025. That's not 3:15 or 3:21. Managed to sit through my dentist appointment without a panic attack for the first time. I'm so very happy. Okay. 3/8. 38. Okay. Still gonna take time off today. I had to lock in so bad. I'm so freaking beating exhausted now. I'm sorry, my shrimpies. So proud of you, girl. That's me with doctors too. So then, before anything else, Shiley said, and the other what? And the other one, yeah, I dodged it. Yeah, I did. So okay, yeah, one of them I did because that one I already knew, and the other one, yes, I dodged. She said she dodged one collab with the excuse that she already knew, and the other collab just because. So what Red said about dodging collabs wasn't slander, like she lied about. The other collab I believe she's referring to is the one that never happened from 3/27/2025 that was shown in Shiley's section. Okay, this is more repo dates. So if one collab was dodged on 3/21 and the other collab being planned on 3/27 was dodged, how could Charlotte use the excuse that she already knew what happened between Nano and Reb from this conversation 4/12? But this is what she said next. But you know what's weird? The one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. What about the six other people who were just looking at me dodging and going, okay, oh, okay, she's busy. It's kind of weird that the only person that had a reason to be weary was actually weary. What about the six other people that I also just left hanging and where I said, sorry, I'm busy. They just took it and were like, oh, okay, we'll just replace someone else. Cool. You know it's called projection because she fucking knew she knew. The only collab Charlie Lee could be talking about here is the repo collab from 3/21. First, let me address why she thinks I was concerned and weary. The day of the collab, we were told Charlie wasn't going to make it because of Bikini Bottoms collab. She had that day. Because we rescheduled the collab once for another friend, I thought we were going to reschedule again for Charlie so she could play with us. That's all. I'm grabbing you guys date later. Oh, also, I think Lily might have to dip because she has Bikini Bottoms and other stuff going on that day, so I got another girly to fill. I'll see you all the morning. Wait, are we rescheduling again? Huh? What do you mean? The lobby doesn't start until 8. Remember? It's 7:35. I also have a fill. Oh, I thought we were gonna have everyone here to play. It's me, you, gotcha. Yeah, all good. Just because Lily couldn't make it doesn't mean we cancel last minute. All good. So far as she said, this collab was dodged because of a dentist appointment, but it was the day after a dentist appointment, so she didn't feel like it. Then it was because she already knew what happened over 2 weeks in the far future somehow, when in reality it was because the Bikini Bottoms collabed the date. But did she dodge because the Bikini Bottoms that day? No. It's true that Shy Lily had a Bikini Bottoms collab that day, but that day only at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our Repo collab was at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and lasted about 3 hours. Shy Lily would have been able to do both, okay, but maybe she didn't want to stream that long. Shy Lily started her stream that day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just chatting for 3 hours until her Bikini Bottoms collab, while the rest of us played Repo without her. So, yeah, what is going on? Been hours until we hung out with Bikini Bottoms later. Here's the VOD Shy Lily stream with Bikini Bottoms starting about 3 hours in. She could have played with us, but she dodged. Why? I believe it was because Shy Lily already had something against me unrelated to anything to do with Nano and didn't want to platform me on her stream. The only one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. Shy Lily dodged at least 2 collabs with me. Red did not lie to Nano, and Shy Lily lied to everyone, saying it was slander. She admitted to it herself on stream. So anyways, I was accused of dodging, which somewhat fairly I did do once. Anyways, I was accused of not knowing her when she raided and like, oh, sorry, when Buff raided me earlier. I'm sorry for not calling Buff's full government Evan Tweet TV name Buff Pup Twitch TV. Thank you so much for your raid and bringing your community from Buff Pup from Twitch TV over here. Like, now I get to say it. When she raided, she is center effing stage, and I am pausing my sponsor to talk to her. Like, I'm having a normal ass reaction to a raid like I have with everyone. Oh, sorry, I didn't say a Vichiban. Sorry, Buff Pup from Twitch of Vichiban. There we go. My bad. Sorry, can't make mistakes like that. I don't want to be a snake, Got to get the full government name out there because apparently people don't feel graced otherwise. People don't feel like they did a good job rating. Like, damn, I'm sorry. Next, Shy Lily talks about the times I rated her and made a petty joke about it. Here's what Red said. Lately dipping out of collabs, they were both... Okay, yeah, already a couple times last week. Here are those 2 raids to Shy Lily. Lily greeted the raiders and didn't say hi to me for the raid. Again, Shy Lily greeted the raiders and didn't say hi or thank me for the raid. Okay, so thank me for all right. The first thing she said was like how I get to say hi when she raided. She is center effing stage. I am fucking stage. I am pausing my sponsor to talk to her. But at the end of both of these raids, Shy Lily said both of her sponsors had already ended. We were sponsored, but the game was really fun, so I just kept playing. We had a sponsor earlier. Oh, we do? No? We don't have a sponsor anymore. Turns out she didn't have to pause her sponsor to talk to me, as if that was her excuse to not say hi and thank me for sending her my community. Then she said, like, I'm having a normal ass reaction to a raid like I have with everyone. So what is a normal reaction to a raid from Shy Lily? Here's a bunch of raids Shy Lily received in the same time frame my 2 raids were. You can see how she reacted to them compared to mine. The raid happened while Shy Lily was in the middle of sponsored segment. Okay, yeah, this won't let me click on anything for some odd reason, but that's probably just my browser causing me issues. But I'm sure if someone wants to look this up and look for themselves, they can go through it. I don't want this to be way too long, as it's already going to take me. But here, let's continue. There's a straightforward way Shy Lily thanks raids. The same way as any streamer does. It's more or less variation of, thank you for the raids, so why were my raids different unless she had a problem with me? Even for my raid on 3:30:25, it's like Shy Lily had to catch herself from how she normally greet a raid, and then chose not to greet or thank me. Only later on later does she do so, catching herself again. It was not about some kind of narcissistic entitlement of being graced by her for not using my two-syllable full government Twitch TV name Cinder. There is a clear difference between how she treated me from the other raiders unless you genuinely miss it or are unable to. I believe you should thank someone for being rated for the stream, and it common courtesy, Red wasn't slandering Shiley to Nano about this. The Shiley lied about it. Just as an example, here's how Shiley would react to my raids in the past. This one being from the start of the year, 1/4/2025. Okay, for Charlie okay. Excuse me. And then this one last year, 11/20/2024. And here are the messages she sent me after this raid. I in no way expected something like this every time I raided Shy Lily or anyone else. Thank you for the way I eat now. I go eat now. It means the world to me. You've been killing it, Lily. Have a good sleep. Okay, so dude, I've been having problems. Okay, thank you so freaking much. Came in so clutch too. No shit, OBS just keep crashing and being awful during the last 2 hours. I was in such a poor mood. You cheered me right back up. Thank you for thinking of me. Dude, I've been having problems like that lately too, and it sucks that there's not much to do about to fix it, so I'm happy I had a good, excuse me, I had good timing. Yeah, I hate it when I can't fix things. Cute. I'm so easily frustrated by technical stuff, especially when it seems like I have no control over it. Yeah, you made my nights. Seeing you pop in made me so much happier again. Right away, I had no time to let LBS drag my mood down. Honestly, save me real shit bad time. You're so sweet. I can relate to that so much, but either way, I've always got your back. Okay, so here, okay, this is in 2024, and Shy Lily and Cinder are messaging just fine. This is the okay. Okay. Them saying I've been weird ever since V Card, which is also isn't true. We literally done a collab ever since then. 106.39, 106.53. Okay, so this is another part of Shy Lily's stream. Them saying I've been weird ever since V Card, which isn't true. We've literally done a collab ever since. We've talked ever since. I contacted her for a technical issue that you guys said she also had ever since, which we saw that. The last collab Shy Lily and I were in together was in 2/5/2025, 4 days after V-Card collab, when the game launched. The only time we talked after that was when she turned me down for a collab on 3/3/25. Messaged me because she needed my help on 3/11/2025, and then in the group chat for the Repo collab, she dodged. That's it. To say this is generalized claim that Red was an issue is ridiculous. Okay, so this happened after V-Card launch. Okay, so we have a good time frame here. It's just, just a bunch of stuff that makes me sound weird and competitive, when again reflecting that one screenshot started it all, and that was from at that point. A few days ago, that one screenshot, and I was like, that's fucked up, and gave Nano the receipts of it. It's not true. I did say, I did ghost her in that DM once. I did see the DM, but somehow before Nano worked on my 3.0 model, that wasn't a problem. So Shy Lily is saying, oh my word, oh good heavens. And of course Cinder is leaving the YouTube link. That bunch of stuff was all true. She does that bunch of stuff was all true. So does that mean Shy Lily was weird and competitive towards me? Shy Lily said that screenshot of Red's DMs that started it all were from at that point a few days ago. So not 5 or so days ago like she claimed earlier. Shy Lily said she gave Nano the receipts of it if it's not true. I don't know what she would have shown Nano to convince her Red was lying to her about these things, since they were all true, but she did somehow. Charlotte said she ghosted my DM once and that she didn't see it, saying it wasn't a problem before Nano worked on her new model. Once again, admitted to something that Red said she was doing and that she lied to everyone, saying it was slander. Lately, saying that whole Red thing again. Her ghosting me was a problem before Nano was working on her ghosting me was a problem before Nano was working on her 3.0 model. That's why Red told Nano about it. Like I said in Shy Lily's section, there wouldn't have been any reason for Red to suspect Lily getting a model from Nano if at the time she was ghosting me amongst all the other things she was doing. From the first message she ghosted to when she talked to Nano about Red was 17 days, and I sent her 3 messages in that time. Do you want to play the V card sim together sometime? I missed you during the repo collab last week, and I hope you're doing well, Lily. Okay, so this is Cinder sending. Hey, Lily, is everything okay? I know I've been told you aren't. Okay, yeah, I already read these things. These things are in the shy. All of this you can find in the Shy Lily section in one of my previous streams. Everyone who is connected, everyone who is in contact with me, everyone who is close, even my viewers, everyone knows I suck at Discord. I'm very distant. I'm very messy. I don't check often, and I'm not very thorough. So, and she knows that too because it happened last year as well. She knows it too well. It's why we have a group chat with her and Bosca and me in it. She wants to plan something. Hello, so she wants to plan something. She knows where to go, and she has used it in the past, recently for V-Card and stuff. I had no problems communicating directly with Lily on Discord for almost 6 months to talk and not going through Bosca at all, and then all of a sudden there was a problem. The V-Card and stuff she claims were through our group chat with him is a lie. I planned our V-Card collab directly with Shy Lily in our DMs that you can read thoroughly in that section. Yep, right here. It is just with Shy Lily. There is no one in this chat room, and Cinder is trying to go directly to Shy Lily. So again, Shy Lily is outright lying. You don't know every message I send on your behalf, obviously. Oh yeah, I forgot. Bosca operates completely independent, and I absolutely have no knowledge of anything happening ever. I just want this to be a public knowledge, so if I get cancelled, I can throw him under the bus. Even when there is a screenshot proving that I clearly am aware and confirming and doubling down and siding with him. I just want you guys to know. Petty. Yeah, which of course I have to keep saying this. Of course, we know this not to be true from Nano's document section with Nano's section of this document. So anyways, yes, I'm guilty of dodging collab because I simply don't fucking feel like it. And yes, I'm guilty of ghosting 2 messages where she asked for a collab, which by the way, she only does when there's something business related. AFK drop, V card drop, any event, any debut, any announcement, any merch, then I'm important. Then we can network. Lily, there is evidence of Cinder sending you messages like right here. Cinder wants to collab with you on Split Fiction that you have admitted yourself dodged. Cinder has tried to collab with you outside. Like with the repo and Split Fiction, Cinder has given proof, evidence that there is proper, that you are the one who is lying. Shy Lily again admits to dodging collab, this time setting on the didn't fucking feel like it excuse. Now she said she's guilty of ghosting 2 of my messages, not only one like she said. Yep, Lily is lying again and admitting. Shyla Lee claims I only ask for collabs when there's something business related invoked, as if I was trying to profit off her presence. She should know that claim is bullshit. Once one of the last times she responded to me was when I asked her to play Split Fiction in 3/2025, completely removed from any of the new drops or debuts. Yep, as you can see here, Shy Lily passes, and Cinder says no problem. So Shy Lily, again, this proves that Cinder is telling the truth. Shy Lily is lying again. But let's look at the other times I asked her to collab too. I explained my motives for these two collabs in Shy Lily's section, which Cinder did. She ghosted them on 4/25. I had my Sleepy model debut and AFK merch drop. That had nothing to do with wanting to collab with her for either of these. Do you want to? Okay. Okay. This was the last. This is the last portion, and of course, Cinder is asking for Slime Heroes the collab with. The V card collab on 2/1/2025 was explained in the section of this document. Yes, it was obviously a business motive collab, but I also wanted to get to know Shy Lily better over something I thought we'd both be excited about. Besides, there were two other times I had ever asked Shy Lily to collab, once in 2023 and once in 2024. That's it. I didn't know Shy Lily super well and always assumed she was really busy and had to go through Bosca to plan with her, and never wanted to bother her in both cases. It took weeks, or if not months, to actually make plans. First time I asked a collab was right after seeing her at TwitchCon in Paris in 2023, which I had just happened to have my Demon model debut already planned for right after my trip. It had nothing to do with asking Shy Lily to do something together. It was so nice meeting you in person, Lily. You're such a sweetheart. You know, you're probably tired from the convention and traveling, but would you play a game with me in the next couple weeks? After my debut this coming week will be two when rigging herself sisters. There's a super cute co-op game I've been wanting to play with someone if you're interested. Okay, Bread and Fred. Oh, I remember this game. Who did I think Cinder played it with Shiley? I think. I actually sent Shiley a DM last week asking if she play with me. Hey, if you do, thank you. Could you rather? If you really, hell yeah, I'll check in on her. She fully planned though for the next 2 weeks. I will let you know. Thank you, Bosca. Okay, yep. That's it. It was Shiley. Was on 7/15/2023, and this collab was on 8/30/2023. Okay. Yeah, I remember when this happened. The second time I asked to collab was for my anniversary subathon in June 2024. Since I was asking friends to come on my stream for it, she was unable to do so because I asked to plan something for July instead. After not hearing back a month, I messaged again asking about a Nikkei collab at the end of August after my bikini model was planned. Charlotte had been using her new bikini model all year and was the only other one of my VTuber friends who was really into Nikkei like me. What better way to do this? Nikkei collab, but in bikinis together. Okay, there's Bosca. Hey guys, I hope you've been doing well. Are you okay? Come on, well, I need to sneeze. Oh. I was wondering, Lily, if you'd be down and available to collab on my stream, something during. Oh, excuse me. After June 21st, was thinking either a funny game like that last one we played, or maybe we can do a Nikkei tier list since I know you're a Nikkei girly too. Hey, we'll be going to TwitchCon. And sadly, Lily won't be able to join during that time since we'll be purchasing for TwitchCon EU. Plus, sponsors want to work with us just before we go with her uh, with our break. Thank you, Bosco. No problem. I'd love to try planning something in July if that works. I'm excited to see you guys later this year. Hey, guys, I was wondering if Lily, you'd be free. Okay, this is Lily asking about some more free time. Shy Lily X Cinder. So Bosca is obviously in there. My bikini model debut was on 8/16/2024, and this collab was on 9/5/2024. Okay. Cinder and Shiley rank Nikkei girls. Okay. So I am guilty of that. But like I said, I would like to excuse myself from those two sins because she knows better. It's been a thing last year, and last year it wasn't a problem. Only until Nano worked on me, it was a problem. So okay, okay. So we have another good starting point. This started with the V card, and it also was around the same time that Lily was getting her costume, her model with Nano. So those two things are correlating on what happened. So on her very first stream after I was canceled, Shiley admitted to ghosting me, admitted to dodging collabs with me, and made a joke out of me raiding her. The reason of any of this happened was because Shiley lied and told Nano Red was slandering her and she was being manipulated by him. The Nano's document repeated that the things he said about Shiley were lies and slander, while all of those slanderous lies were true. I showed they were true. Shiley herself admitted they were true, and here we are. So why did she lie about them? Let me get a drink. Shiley said she'd like to excuse herself from those two sins. She admitted to it, and then she blamed her actions on me because I should have known better. Yeah, that is just projection in its truest form, taking no accountability, deflecting, narcissistic manipulation, all of the things Shiley projected onto me. Yep, and Shiley on stream live admitted to everything. And no one caught this. Now, I didn't watch Shiley's live stream. I've caught a couple of her streams live, but I, like I've said before with Buff, I've never really enjoyed Shiley's stream, and I always felt a bit off with her, not like how I felt about Buff, but now I know why. Shiley is a narcissistic, manipulating little snake in the grass who likes taking no accountability, and obviously she projects things. And we know all this because Shiley has said so herself and admitted to it live on stream. Don't you like it when people just don't you just love it when people admit things themselves? Anyways, long story short, that was the one message that got everything rolling because I explained how that's weird. That's cringe. Explained that's weird, cringe, and manipulative to do and bother Nano with. If she has a problem, then why not come to me? And boy, that's where it all started. That's where poor Nano realized that there's no more such incidents, and this is just, and if this is weird, she has critical thinking, and she's like, if this is weird, are the others also weird? The ones where she literally on the screenshot said she feels bad for doing all these things she's being asked to do. That's where it started. And obviously, me being a friend, I talked to Nano and was like, Nano, I'm going to be honest, some of the stuff you have here is heartbreaking. I'm thankful for you showing this to me, but I highly encourage you to share this with people affected, especially Bao, because you know that one nasty thing where she sabotages Bao, especially that one. And Nano, the fucking Giga Chat, agreed. She agreed. So, Shiley just admits to manipulating Nano. We've seen in the Nano section, the largest section so far, over 200 pages, is what sorry, Shy Lily straight up lies and uses all of this as an excuse to get and manipulate Nano to release private messages of a client of hers and a supposed close friend. And we also know from reading from the previous sections that there was no manipulation from Red or Cinder, and they did their best to accommodate Nano. And of course, we know from the messages and the context that Nano was the one who canceled the models herself. Red didn't ask, Cinder didn't ask. That was all Nano's fault because she was taking too much on. And it's also from the screenshots we do know that Nano was the one who took Nano was the one who brought up exclusivity first. And then Red did after, but that's only because Nano brought it up first. Shalili makes a point that I should have talked to her, not go to Nano. But I didn't go to Nano. Red did. As much as Shalili wanted to push that idea, Red and I are not the same person. When I was ready to confront Shalili about what was going on, I did. She never responded because she was already in the middle of organizing my cancellation. Which, yep, right here. Cinder tried to go to Shalili and try to get things sorted out. Shalili did not. So, again, Shiley's lying through her teeth. Did poor Nano realize there was more incidents, or did Shiley ask her if there were more? And what did Red ask Nano to do that she supposedly felt bad about? Nothing. Shiley highly encouraged Nano to share these things with Bao, but Shiley was the one who had to reach out to Bao herself. Yup, Nano may have agreed, but she couldn't do it without Shiley's help. Okay, here's a big one. Let me get a drink. Excuse me. All right. Before I continue with this tidbit, I need to go to the bathroom, and then I will be right back. Excuse me. All right, I am back. All right, let's continue, shall we? So we made a group chat like 5 days later because Bao had surgery, and so it took a while. We made a group chat. Can you imagine that GigaChat fucking whale comes out of surgery and has to deal with this? That group that we use to expose everything, no, just from Nano's messages, have to deal with her manipulation. But we also came to realize that everything that happened to us individually weren't weren't isolated incidents where you're like, well, fuck, it happens. Sometimes you do something that you regret. Sometimes you call your friend a bitch. Sometimes you throw a friend under another bus in the heat of the moment. Hopefully you regret doing that, but it's a different story. But we realized that it wasn't just a coincidence. It wasn't just one incident. It was just an isolated incident. It was a year-long pattern, everything connected. It was a pattern that consisted over years that just keep going nonstop, and that's when we know this is fucked up. And respect to my friends, we all decided that after all the receipts, and obviously being very emotional, unstable to sleep over it for a night. Obviously, we were all ready for blood. We were like, what the fuck, no way. But we still decided to sleep a night over it. Give it one night, let's sleep over it one night. The next day, once everyone was awake and had time to deal with their emotions, we all still knew this has to happen. Like, I'm sorry, but sleeping over this just made it so much more clear that this can't be. And this is where I noticed this isn't just to expose what she's doing to us. This is to expose the fact that she is doing these things and who. This is speculation. This is complete speculation. But if that's the stuff that happened in the circle, what else could happen? A pattern is a pattern. Again, speculation. But we were like, how would we feel terrible knowing that she conducts business throughout the next couple of years, hurting more people like this? Can't do. No, it turns out it was a bit bigger than just our group chat. Google Docky, turns out it was just a bit bigger than our group. And so, yeah, and we all know she was going to throw her manager under the bus. We all fucking knew. When you look at the screenshots and you knew her and you see the manipulation, and first fucking thing she'll throw her manager under the bus. Everything went live, and what she does. The first thing they both did, they messaged Nano going, Nano, please, you know what the absolute fucking GigaChat did? Blocked. So, Lily just admitted to coordinating this cancellation effect with everyone who personally knew Cinder. Lied through her teeth. This had to be malicious. This, from everything we've read, this has to go back to the V-card situation and making a model with Nano. It has to be from that. There is no other explanation other than a grudge that Shiley had with Cinder at those points in time. I'm getting a drink. Obviously, we're all ready for blood. On her stream, Bao didn't sound like she was ready for blood. Was Shiley projecting that bloodlust onto everyone involved, so it didn't sound like she wasn't the weird and problematic one? Or was Bao putting on a performance for the audience? Well, we still decided to sleep a night over it. Give it one night. We all still knew this has to happen. With the limited misinformation they got from Nano, Shiley ready for blood, pushing things along, and my friends using their confirmation bias from a few other experiences, they chose to cancel me over one night without ever contacting me. Yeah. Honestly, if they were actually friends, they would have contacted Cinder personally and found out and gotten both sides and found out what was going on with Cinder. From Cinder explaining things, we do know that Cinder was in contact with one other person. I'm guessing it was either Vienna or Yuzu. Those two did not drop any documents, and they have not been made public in any of this section of this document. So that's who I'm guessing Cinder was talking to when someone reached out and she was able to reach out. It was either Yuzu or Vienna. Those two I'm guessing. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing I'm right on that. But but then the next evening, the quote unquote apology dropped, and then one part struck me specifically because she very clearly, first of all, isn't a fucking apology, but it wasn't even an apology. It was, I'm sorry you feel this way. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry you got caught in this. I'm sorry I was manipulating her, and you fuck of an apology, bro. And one thing that struck me specifically is when she dedicated a section to me and someone else. First of all, okay, I'm petty. Is when she dedicated a section to me and someone else. First of all, okay, I'm petty. I didn't even get a section for myself. I'm going to be super petty. Not even a section for myself. For someone that is so upset for me not naming her full fucking government Twitch name, for someone who just put on a document as Lily when previously referring to me as the other gamer subs owner, I didn't even get a section for myself with my name properly fucking written. Come on, bro, don't be such a hypocrite. You don't get to be upset at that shit and then put me there. Throw me in there and be like, I'm so sorry, I had no knowledge of this. And that's when I got mad because no knowledge my ass. But here's the problem. A lot of what we know is hearsay because the girls spend time together, vacation, travel, blah 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 blah, you know. So Cinder being courteous, not naming Shiley by name. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Before we continue, I did recently get some confirmation on the fact that Cinder is actually telling the truth about her gamer subs part ownership, that she actually did sell them. So let me go ahead and swap over. I'm not gonna change that or anything. Right here, from Mama Oka. This is the previous one, which we have here. Shalette, whoever that is. Cinder at 10%. Original Founders 8. Angel Investors. And then Shiley at 5%. So, here's this. Brandsbyown.com. And then we have this one. Investor Landscape Equity Breakdown. Reductions. Diversify ownership in April 25th. Invested for 5 stake. You, for later on VOD watchers, I'm going to keep this up. You can read this here and just pause it. Here's Gillette at still 70 strategy and vision. Original founder 17% operations, which they're actually more from the, as we can see, original owners. They now own more. And then whoever that is, that one's new. Content partnerships. Okay. Shiley has less part ownership of the company now, community engagement, and others, 5% support functions. Okay, so from this 25 investor update shared on the company's investor portal. So this right here is proof that Cinder is not lying, that she willingly gave up her part ownership of gamer subs. So that tells me that the fact that Cinder gave this up and taking accountability goes a long way with me. All right, back to this. Shiley complained that she didn't get her own section in my apology, as if anything was actually done to her. My two-syllable name and thank you was too much to ask for after rating my friend. I didn't refer to Shiley as the other game sub owner. Red did, separate person. I don't even get a section for myself with my name probably fucking written. Come on, bro, don't be such a hypocrite. You don't get to be upset at that shit and then put me in there, throw me in there, and be like, I'm so sorry, I had no knowledge of this. I don't get to be upset at the petty actions towards me because I called her Lily. This is extremely narcissistic. Yep. I need to stay hydrated because the last several streams for me talking so long got me tired out and dehydrated. While waiting while waiting for her ad break to end, chat, it's just business. It's just I'm just making a living. It's just business. I'm so sorry. It's just business. My gosh, Shy Lily is being petty. I don't know where I was, but let me just say in this section that she dedicated to Cotton and me. Wait a minute. So Shy Lily released Cotton's name first? Why would you bring up Cotton? She said, sorry for not having any knowledge of this. And that's where I kind of got me mad because, like I said, a lot of the stuff that was posted about is only stuff we have hardcore receipts for. Obviously, there is a lot of experience that doesn't exist on paper. It's only private experience. But, excuse me. But there's also more receipts, verifiable receipts that weren't added to the doc because either they are smaller things that just only really become a problem and added up, or they were just a little too private to be shared. They contain information that people just don't want to be publicly have there, but it's kind of important for context, you know? So pick and choose what you want to have in there. Like I said already, if more proof of their claims existed, it wasn't shown due to containing personal info like she claimed. They could have censored it. In my private messages with Numi are the only things I can imagine she's talking about. If it is that, and Numi wanted to keep it private, then Shy Lady chose to basically talk all about Numi's concert in her tweet and in her stream against Numi's wishes because she knew how talking about it would make me look. Yeah, and of course, you know what? I'm just going to continue. I can't believe I have to keep stating things. For her to claim she has no knowledge when I know for a fact she does, but I have no proof. Oh, wait a minute. For her to claim she has no knowledge when she know for a fact she does, but I have no proof. What do you mean? You know for a fact she does, but you have no proof, Lily? Other than hearsay, it reminds me of that one fact, one receipt we do have though, where she here herself personally throws me under the bus, and I made sure to quote her own words because again, that screenshot isn't public. But I made sure to quote her words. She'll know what we're talking about. Those quotation marks, the literal quote, I made sure she knows what I'm talking about. What I'm referring about, the screenshot isn't there, but there's a couple like that. And the fact that you only took accountability for the stuff that's been published and not the stuff that was kept hidden enough for me to have for a user use me as part of that is an excuse as why she had to let her friend down. The very same friend that spent months of prep, hard work, and effort and received a million empty promises just because a couple days before she wanted to reschedule a VCAR collab too. She is mentioning New Me. We know from screenshots that Cinder apologized directly for Numi and addressed things with Numi personally behind the scenes. And she was still at the concert. There are screenshots to prove this. Million empty promises because both the days before she wanted to reschedule VCAR collab to, make a nice big boom as a collab and sell a bunch of boxes to make some big bag. Lily, you are doing the same damn thing. Box to make some big. Imagine for a fucking collab could have had the collab any other day too. Could have been a day or two earlier. Could have been a day or two later. She rescheduled that collab to be on that date. She put it in there on that date. She knew she couldn't, and the only time she ever felt sorry on both the apology and before, guess what? When she was put in my effing place, well, you know what? Screw it. Put in her fucking place. People say, why didn't you handle those privately? We did once. We did. And she only deflecting, pretending to be apologetic when put on the spot. No proper apology from her before the crash. None. She's only sorry and where she gets caught because she knows fucking with what that friend that that she did fucking with all mean and the end of her career. Because if you're not good standing with that person, you're not good standing with like 80% of the indies. No matter that mattered to her because she's in the glue that keeps them fucking together half the time. She wasn't sorry because she fucked over for an opportunity on that day. She said she'll be there. She was sorry. She caught in the true narcissistic, selfish, egotistic fashion. She's sorry. She got caught. Okay, Lily is absolutely pissing me off. Dear Lord. All right, I'll be. I gotta go blow my nose. I'll be right back. For her to claim she has no knowledge when I know for a fact she does, but I have no proof. Charlotte had no proof I knew anything. She just knew. I did, but pushed everything to be made public anyway. Shylily is talking about Numi's concert here, but never shows anything about it. The quote she used in her reply to me was from my private conversation with Numi. Pressure to live up to what Lily is. Shylily expected me to take public accountability for an already private settled situation, once again falsely claiming that I used her as an excuse, and that it was all about the money to me. When asked why she didn't handle this privately, Shylily said, "We did once. We did." She's talking about my private apology to Numi about her concert, which ended with me taking accountability and trying to make things right. And Numi forgave me. They didn't handle anything privately before. Shylily didn't handle anything privately, but then she wanted to imply that because Red said we in his messages to Nano. It meant I knew and agreed with everything he said. And once again, putting standards on me that she wasn't holding to herself to. I believe Shy Lily was the one who was pushing everyone not to handle any of this privately. Here is my final message with Shy Lily, Nano, and Bao. Hey Lily, okay, already read that earlier. Hi Nano, would you want to come on my stream again sometime? Okay, yep, read that too. Hi Pookie. Yeah, Okay, yeah, we already read this in Bao's section. Just to make it clear, the person Shy Lily said you need to be in good standing with is Numi. Shy also said she was sorry she was caught in true narcissistic, selfish, egotistic fashion. She's sorry she got caught. So let me get this. Oh, let me just platform the very same person that tried to deplatform me and all of my friends that helped her get there to begin with. Let me just continue to platform that one person that tried to backstab us when begging to be in our positions. Fuck no. Throwing me and gamer subs under the bus to save her ass. Fuck no. All the pressure I feel would pressure the pressure you begged for, the pressure you told them you wanted to have, responsibility you asked for, where you wanted to be alongside me. Fuck no. What pressure? Hell no. Fuck off. I am not reading that. No, Red and I didn't try to deplatform Shylily. Any of my friends or anyone else, none of either of our actions remotely came close to that. Shylily did that to me. The most anyone was backstab was in the deal Red made with Nano behind my back, and already went over how that really played out. Yep. You can go back and look at the Nano section and Bao section for that information. If there was any evidence of me trying to deplatform and backstab any of my friends, why didn't Shylily show that at all? Then talking about Numi's concert again says I blamed her and gamer subs when I didn't, which there is evidence to support that. Didn't No, I didn't beg for that pressure, and I didn't beg for my part of ownership positions like she claimed. I was surprised with the offer by Gamer Subs because of my performance with the company, and I accepted it. By what she claimed, Shelly Lee seems to agree that the position did not come with pressure and responsibility. The same person and responsibility that led to me making my decision about the concert. Chat, you're not the only person that says I always had a feeling. I know lots of you are probably men, so you wouldn't wouldn't maybe get it, but as a woman, you can't get along with other women based on a gut feeling. You can't do that. You're a catty bitch. You can't do that. You can't not get along with someone because of no reason. When they prove to be everything but a threat, you can't do that. I'm sure it happens with the guys too. Maybe you can't just be like, nah, she's too nice. You can't do that. What the fuck kind of reason is she being too nice to me? Like, not like someone. You can't do that. So, most people stay back. Usually, when you have a gut feeling, in my case, anyway, usually when you have a gut feeling, you stay back and you observe. You take distance. I'm very distant, very in my own lane kind of person to begin with. I'm very distant, very minding my own business, very trust me and myself time, Usually you stay back and then you observe for an entire year of how nothing goes wrong and how your friends like that friend and how everything seems peachy. And then you're like, "Oh, you know what? My gut feeling is fucking ass. I fucking knew it. Shouldn't have trusted it. You know what? Shouldn't have trusted it." Yeah, I'm sure you guys can also be catty too, but yeah, I can't always trust my gut cuz I've also had gut feelings about people where I'm like, "You know what? That was unnecessary." I was just already cautious based on nothing. Charlie Lee told her chat she's always had a bad gut feeling about me. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. Uh, okay. Long story short, VTuber makes friends in VTuber space. Friends appreciate having a friend. Turns out they were never a friend. They never tended or wanted to be friends. It was never about friendship. It was always about climbing the career ladder. Said friend. Let's be clear. Snake said friend sabotaged, backstabs, and manipulated behind the scenes when everything came out because of the first screenshot leaking, followed by more stuff. Everyone got together and realized, wow, we've been fucked for the last couple years. Interesting. Anyways, fast forward. Google Docky. Fast forward. Apology without a ukulele. And I kind of crashed out because how fucking dare you take zero accountability. All she had to do. You want a good apology for when you fucked up. VTubers. Future streamers, write this shit down. You ever need an apology for when you actually fuck up? For when you are a bad bitch? Just say, I'm fucking sorry. I acted the way my greed had caused a lot of damage. Greed that got me from growing too fast and being too filthy rich by raiding my friends' backs instead of seeing how grateful I was supposed to be for it. I saw them as nothing but an asset, and I've been truly blinded by how absolutely malicious, vile, and toxic I've treated them from behind the scenes. Pretending to be a friend while separating business, sabotage them, I can never repair the damage I've caused, and I'd see how clearly what truly means to lose everything that you were supposed to be grateful for. I'll take some time away and hope to better myself. I've never been able to repair what I've broken, but I can try and come forward and be a better person in hopes to have learned from the absolute awful thing that I've done to my closest friends and most supportive, loving friends that are the sole reason I have the platform to begin with. Boom! Just open up to it, take accountability, just be like, yeah, I've been a dick. Yeah, I've been a fucking ass. Yeah, I've been so blinded to my success and money and my greed even more. That greed is unbearable. Yes, I'm terrible. Done. Of course, I wouldn't fucking believe her. What the fuck, manipulator? Fucking, of course not. Obviously not. But she is the only. But it's the only way to set things right. You can't fix them, but it's the only way to set things right and to maybe not be a fucking laughingstock for the next year and a half. Oh my word, that was a lot to go through. Um, Lily, you shouldn't be talking about yourself like this because, dear Lord, girl. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Ugh. Shy Lily's summary of what happened is a complete lie. She then presents how she thinks I should have apologized for the things she decided I did, falsely framing me as a greedy from growing too fast and being too filthy rich. This is coming from Shy Lily. Yeah, this is Shy Lily is just projecting so hard right now, I've been able to tell from my interactions with Twitter as of late. Oh boy, I have seen so many people project so hard, and Shy Lily is projecting. She saw me as competition, painted on me for asking for it by wanting a model from the same mall mama, which is a bit weird when she's the only one begging for a partial owner, and all kinds of other things that she wants from me. But hey, somehow I'm the one who's looking for trouble for wanting a new model. I didn't see Shiloh Lee's competition, and Red's view was more than just going to Nano for a model. If she treated me like a friend, it wouldn't have been something he brought up to her. She claimed I was begging for partial ownership and all kinds of things I wanted from her. That's wild. Not only did she have nothing to do with my part ownership, as if she had the power to give it to me, not once have I ever said anything about that to her ever. All kinds of things I wanted from her to hang out and get to know her. I've never begged Shiloh Lee for anything. What a narcissistic thing to say. Maybe they will just rebrand Cinder's flavor into It's Just Business. It might still sell. Oh, really? Lily, you really? Oh my gosh. Wow, that is petty. As queen, show us nothing, address nothing, shift all the blame, and on top of that, only apologize for the shit that's public and not all the other stuff you've done. I didn't know the things that my man said and all the things I've done myself, all by myself, that you guys have receipts of, but you didn't post them, so I didn't know and didn't apologize for them. Yes, queen, shift the blame. Again, Lily is just projecting. Lily was the one who was expecting me to be publicly to me. Lily was the one who was expecting me to publicly take accountability for everything and anything I've ever done, like what happened in Wisconsin, even though it was already settled privately between us. Yep, there are screenshots in Numi's section that we read. Lily is lying through her teeth. I have to keep saying that. I will not deny that obviously you won't always know every single little thing, the ins and outs of every single detail in word, but be for real. To sit and pretend that your man and manager handles everything for you and without you knowing a singular freaking be for real. Like obviously there's going to be situations where you might generally get fucked over by what someone else is doing and you didn't know, but not for years and not for so long, and everything single thing when you yourself have receipts doubling down and doing the same thing also in person. But that's hearsay, so let's put it on the Google document. But we know better. Red is with Cinder like 24/7, and we've seen them share messages by going like, here, check this out, like. But again, like I said, this isn't proof. This is hearsay. I understand, but topic is beyond just you guys. And seeing what she's done is also just personal stuff that bleeds into it, obviously. So it's clearly also hearsay. Obviously, there will be some hearsay to say, but the Google Docs only have receipts. They obviously only have receipts. They only talk truth and they only talk facts. Only receipts. But obviously, there's more from spending so much time traveling and vacations together. Shiloh Lee says you won't always know every single little thing in reference to me knowing Red's messages, but the standard of knowing everything is unfairly applied to me when it mattered. Shiloh also claimed this was going on for years when it wasn't. She says the times my friends saw us sharing messages on our phones in person proves I knew everything. That is a stretch. Shiloh said the documents, Nano and Bows, only talk the truth. They only talk facts. It's a long story shoot. Friend of our friend's circle that has been a friend for many years turned out to never have been a friend. We were just stepping stones on a career ladder, and like it wasn't enough to just step over us, she wanted to also burn the fucking ladder down that she climbed. This is a blatant lie, and it's not true at all. I believe Charlotte Lee must have been the one who convinced my friends of this. Also crazy what happened to Silver, but crazy that shit she told us. The shit she said. I knew it wasn't truth because I heard the exact opposite story, but when she goes on and on for years, you eventually feel like the one story you've heard isn't true. You start to doubt the source. You're like, really? Is that to hate on someone on just a deep level literally doesn't talk to you? You like, really? Is that? You hate someone so much deep that level doesn't talk about business? Yeah, same for spite. So, oh dear lord, I've never said anything about Silverville to Shiloh Lee. I don't know how she can claim she knew it wasn't the truth unless she heard the opposite story from what Silverville herself. Everything I told my other friends about mine and Red's experience with Silver was true, and it's all laid out to her in section of this document. Both of us had no reason to about lie to them about her. You'll see how I really felt about Silvervale and how our relationship beyond out in her section. Okay, so we'll get that in Silvervale section. Okay. Yeah, luckily somehow I've never known about the Spite situation. Completely oblivious, but then again, it wasn't nearly as close. Didn't spend nearly as much time with her as my other friends, but that was somehow still enough to see me as a fucking threat, even though I've done nothing but platform her whenever she asked to be platformed. That is a downright lie. Lily, you yourself have admitted to skipping out and refusing to do collabs with Sinders numerous times. You yourself has admitted to this. The one time she's platformed me and streamed any of our collabs herself was our V card collab on 2/1/2025. Other than that, the few times we've done anything together, it's always been on my stream. I platformed her more than she ever did me, with her dodging the Repo collab possibly so she wouldn't platform me. Man, why? The crazy part to me is you're the face of VTubing. Why do you still have to quench and squelch the very friend who put you there between your toes? You've got it all. You're burning those bridges for like 2 to 3%. Like, what? Like, do you not do any self-reflecting? Look at your fucking YouTube. Every single video is about someone. It's never about you, and there's nothing wrong with it. Some people simply operate better when I'm bouncing off of other personalities, but I have messages demanding recognition from people you despise and sabotage because you're bigger and better than them, and they're on your own. Yes, my YouTube channel is made up of videos of me and my friends, but everything Shiley said here is a lie. I wasn't burning bridges, I wasn't demanding recognition, I wasn't sabotaging anyone. The things she's referring to here and completely mischaracterized are from something Red said about Silvervale once in July of 2023. She's talking as if it were my own words. That's how somehow applies to other people other than Silvervale and is relevant to my own actions almost 2 years after the fact. And oh dear Lord. Okay, yeah, I've already read these. Hello, Yoshi. Oh, sorry. I must acknowledge people by their full legal government name, or else I'm misbehaving. I'm being weird and acting weird. I'm sorry. Thank you for gracing me with your presence in my chat today. Your slits on Twitch TV. Dear Lord. How bad? Dear Lord, I'm starting to get really dumbfounded on how petty Lily is being. God, I was just so angry. Every paragraph that was deflecting. You know what also hit me really wrong? You know what hit me the wrong way? All of the damage she caused to specifically Spite and Silver. What damage? What damage to Spite and Silver? Silver barely said anything. She had a Google docu, which that's going to be addressed in Silver section. And Spite only gained stuff from the whole cancellation. In fact, I do believe Spite is Cinder's replacement. All of the damage she caused, all of the bad mouthing, all the sabotaging career things, all she did was me being called these things caused me to do it. Me being manipulated by the hate caused me to do it. What about everything you caused? Wow, that's a mouthful. Every paragraph that was just deflecting kind of like how Shiley deflects her actions to Nano to begin with, and then admitting to them on the stream, blamed it on me. Shiley makes a good point here. What about everything I or Red caused to Silvervale and Spite? Well, I laid everything out that was caused to either of them at the start of this document in the accountability section. You'll see it in their own sections too. You'll also see the things I didn't cause, but the public was told I caused. You already saw Nano canceling Silver's model in November 2023, but blaming it on me. And Silvervale and Spite made plenty of their own claims too that addressed in their sections. Hold on, let me. Okay, Silvervale and Spite are still yet to go over. Okay, hopefully their sections are not too long. What destroyed me was Bao being sad in the same group chat Cinder was in about her model being canceled. Yeah, imagine didn't even have the balls to fucking say anything. You know what? Because she knew what she was doing was fucking wrong. She knew. Wrong again, but Shy Lily seems to know a lot about having the balls to say anything when she could never say anything about herself. Which, of course, we hear Cinder trying to contact Lily. Hold on. Okay. Like in your own words, it's just business. I'm sorry, but them in true business fashion, you're going to have to take responsibility for what happens in your business, like everyone else. If you're someone truly does get fucked over, if someone truly does something behind your back, well, you can't just be like, it wasn't me, and throw your hands in the air and be like, well, too bad. Shiloh's use of it's just business was obviously not the same as my use in the phrase, which, of course, we already know this to be true. We found out like fucking 5 days ago, collected the evidence for a day, and then slept over it for a day to really, because we realized we have career-ending fucking evidence. So we want to fucking bed and then post it. Shiloh Lee again lies about the timeline event. She found out about this 2 weeks ago, not 5 days ago. 5 days ago was when Shiloh Lee and Nano told Bao about her surgery. They actually didn't have their career-ending fucking evidence, but because Nano lied to everyone and everything Red said was projected onto me, I believe Shiloh Lee used the little evidence she had to make sure it ended my career. You know what, again? I'm not even upset at your friend because he probably sees this and just like the people before, he's just being successfully manipulated. I want to be mad and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Chances are your friend's probably just some very naive young guy or girl and goes, I don't think that's enough. And I'm like, well, give it a few more years, go see the real world, and you'll see what the absolute audacity, narcissistic manipulation in all ways. If you didn't see anything wrong with proof or something sabotaging the friend that platformed them, I don't know, man. Shalili told of okay, so that was the viewer's name, so that is being redacted for very obvious reasons. Shalili told a viewer that their friend was naive for asking for more evidence of the claims made against me. It's really funny that Shy Lily said to give it a few more years before they see the absolute audacity, narcissistic manipulation in all of this, because it only took 5 months to make the narcissistic manipulation abundantly clear. Throughout her whole stream, trashing me, Shiloh avoided accountability, gave excuses, deflected, and made jokes about the things she was doing while simultaneously admitting to everything she claimed was slander and manipulating that turned Nano against me in the first place. Shiloh didn't care about the lies she was telling about me on stream. She won and celebrated my cancellation. She couldn't help but take a victory lap around my corpse. Says a lot about her narcissistic character. Accountability only mattered to her when it's the other way around. I should have known better than to expect the Shadow Lily to hold herself the same standard as she did Snake. Shadow Lily is the only one who was involved that has a highlight video of her stream talking about me on her main YouTube channel. She was more than happy to profit off of this and broadcast her lies about me to 100,000 subscribers. Oh. Yep. Shy Lily was the only one. Alright, we're going on to the next section. All right, let me take a. Oh, Uh, that was a long section. There was a lot to go over. All right, let's do a quick recap of the whole Shillelagh stream. Well, we know from evidence from the previous parts of the document, especially with Nano's document portion, Shillelagh and Nano have lied about everything. Cinder took the time and was in the right mindset this time to put together every single evidence to prove without a doubt Cinder has not lied. There was no malicious intent. Cinder is now, I'm going to say this again. Cinder is not guiltless in any of this. Cinder or Red have taken full accountability for all the things that they did wrong and have apologized. So the only ones who have not taken accountability here for anything is Nanoless and Shillelagh. That has been made abundantly clear. And for anyone who is viewing this, who is a fan of Shillelagh or who was on Nanoliss's side, I hope you take a look at this document and come to the realization that you have been lied to, someone was falsely slandered, had their career ruined over lies. All right, let's go on to the next section. Okay, there we go. What did Shillelagh have against me in the first place? Okay, this is speculation from Cinder. Shillelagh lied about me on her stream, lied about me in her reply, lied to me, to my friends, and lied to Nano at the very start. The actions she did were slander. She admitted to it on stream. Clearly, Shillelagh had something against me before Red ever talked to Nano about her, according to her, as early as 3/21, 2025, when she dodged the repo collab. So, oh, excuse me. So what was her problem? The one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. Let's take a look at some of the things she said on stream again. You don't have to give me biddies and some money to make me feel better. We're not like that in here. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but like coping, okay, coping. God, that when she said that at the end to try to bring me into, okay. Oh, the Charizard and Blastoise. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read only the yellow parts because this is obviously the most important parts here. And since I've already read everything in the previous section, I don't want to go over everything again. You don't have to give me biddies and some money to make me feel better. We're not like that in here. Oh, the Charizard and Blastoise of V cards doing the gags. Oh, like, how dare you sit there and pretend to be some kind of box legendary of something you didn't create? Disgusting. You burned your Cinder merch. Honestly, if I can't encourage you, you paid for it. You do what you fuck you want. But if I can encourage you to do something, donate it. On top of that, again, if you cope, you're burning your merch. I ain't judging. But if you have it in you and you can cope with it, try and donate everything you got. Any shirt, sweater, figurine, plushie, whatever the fuck it is, just donate it. Excuse me. Which, by the way, she also does when there is something business related. A key drop, V card drop, any event, any butte, any announcement, any merch. Just because a couple days before that she wanted to reschedule V card collab, make a nice big boom as a collab and sell a bunch of boxes to make some bag. The pressure you begged for, where you wanted to be alongside me, my greed has caused a lot of damage. Greed that got me from growing too fast and being too filthy rich by riding on my friends' backs. Yeah, I'm being blinded, so blinded in my success, money, and greed for even more. The greed was unbearable, which is a bit weird when she is the one begging for a partial owner and all kinds of other things that she wants from me. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. I need to blow my nose. All right. Shalili viewed me as a very greedy person, and that's all my actions were due to my alleged greed. She encouraged viewers to donate any and all of my merch, but didn't dissuade them from burning it either. Shalili also wants to make it seem like I begged to be in her position at Gamersuds as park owner, and even begged her for it, which as if I was jealous of her, not because I actually earned it like she did. She seemed to have a very emotional outburst when talking about me, calling me myself the Charizard of V card. Not that she'd known this, but for my debut anniversary in 6/25/25, I was supposed to be releasing a limited edition tub of Pyro Power with a promo V card, both with the art drawn by Nanolis. Red and I fought with GamerTubs to make my promotion card and the same card across all my purchases instead of having a 1 in 10 chance of getting the holographic one. It could have been made, I could have made so much more money if people needed to buy a bunch of tubs to get the right card. It wasn't about the money to me or Red. Okay, so they literally, okay, let me read that again. Not that she, but for my debut anniversary on 6/25/2025, I was supposed to be releasing a limited edition tub of Pyro Power with a promo V card, but both with the art drawn of Nanolis by Nanolis. Red and I fought with GamerSubs to make my promo card the same card across all purchases instead of having a 1 10 chance of getting the holographic one. I could have made so much more money if people needed to buy a bunch of tubs to get the right card. But it wasn't about the money to me or Red. So Red. Okay, let's read this. We didn't have a problem making the cards all 9. The reasoning makes complete sense. Keep the 10 cards in the sets the most valuable. Our thought behind making all the promo cards holo is that at least with the way we were doing it, it's a $40 buy with all the Pyro Power with only 1 card per order. The goal behind enticing people with the promo card this way is to get people to have Pyro Power and become repeat buyers, not so that the shiny card can retain value on eBay. We'd rather have every customer be satisfied with a special shiny card than have 9-10 of them be disappointed they didn't get the right card, especially if they didn't like or have never had Pyro Power in the first place. If you're saying it'd be fine to make them all non-holo, then what's the big deal if we make them all holo instead? There only be a difference in the card's value if there was both, not one or the other. Our goal should be that no one's complaining about the free promotion. Yeah, I just wanted everyone to be satisfied with the card, even if they're not a huge fan of the flavor. Okay. So this is proof, the time, dates, and stamps, that Red and Cinder they could have made more money, but they wanted their customers to be happy and satisfied. They're not being greedy here. They want to satisfy their customers and the fans who are buying the tubs and giving them money. They want to make sure they have happy customers. And when you have happy customers, they tend to come back and buy more stuff. Having them all 9 holos is what I would want to do. A 110 system doesn't feel fair when my fans are having to spend $40 for only a chance at the best version of the card. The VTA promo card was free, so having that as a gotcha system was understandable, and the 110 Pyro Power label gotcha system is just a bonus because people are still buying it for the drink itself. If I were to spend that much money on a drink I didn't enjoy just for the card, I'd at least want to be satisfied with my purchase knowing that I'm getting it's a promo card, not a chase card. We can make the next promo bigger and better by just having it being a new card. This card would be limited just like every drop we do, and it'll still be special because you had to get it within the promotion. The next promo card will be the same no matter what the project we tie it with. My very first cup didn't have a special gotcha version, and it's still highly sought after because it was a limited time item and a lot of people missed out on. I especially wanted to keep these cards to 1 per purchase because if people can buy in bulk, then incentivizes scalpers to buy them all and resell them for crazy prices. And that's not fair to my own fans for GamerSubs community. The more consumer friendly the card bonus is, the more people will try Power who never would otherwise and potentially become repeat customers, not only for my products, but the entire brand. Okay, so she's responding to someone. Okay, this gives me a lot more respect to Cinder because she's actively looking out for her fans and she is doing her best to keep scalpers from purchasing, because we all know this. How many times have we seen, especially the Pokemon, with Pokemon cards, how many times have we seen scalpers just come in, buy a bunch of stuff, and then sell it back to everyone at overpriced prices, and then people who just want to collect this stuff to buy it at market value gets screwed over. Cinder is actively trying to avoid these things. She wants to make sure the actual fans of hers and people who want to buy it, just in case they don't want the drink or don't like it, she's at least wanting them to at least get something neat out of it. So that way they don't feel like they wasted their money. That is, I don't see why anyone would have a problem with this. And Cinder is giving. All right, let's continue. But let's look at more evidence of this besides what she said on her stream. The first message of mine, shallowly ghosted, was about another V-Card collab when the rules were updated. Do you want to play the V-Card sim together sometime soon? Okay, yeah, I already read this. The very next day on her stream from 3/29/2025, okay, so that is a day after, Shiley receives a TTS message about my then upcoming AFK flavor. The first thing she said was that she had nothing to do with my part ownership. Oh, because she's co-owner, that has nothing to do with me, bro. I don't have a saying that shit had nothing to do with me. Don't look at me, bro. It's got nothing to do with me. That's GamerSubs. Leave me out of that shit. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Those were all GamerSubs' decision. She then says GamerSubs has been begging her to make a new flavor. She goes into almost 10-minute rant about how she's not all about the money. But then she has a bunch of things lined up she could release whenever she wants. But then she's not like that. But she's not like that pretty blatant in contrast to the TTS message about me. Okay. That was well before Red ever talked to Nano about Shy Lily on 4/12. On her stream on 4/29/2025, a day after talking about my cancellation, Shy Lily told her audience she highly suggests that the right thing for me to do is to give up my GamerSubs part ownership. Okay. All right. I will be right back. I've gotta take a leak real quick. All right. I'm back. Okay. So this is pure speculation, okay? Like pure speculation. This hasn't happened yet, and I am not in a position to talk GamerSubs to begin with either. Right. Pure speculation. I highly doubt they would remove Flavor fully. I don't even think they would remove her who shall not be named fully to begin with, as I am not sure how much business knowledge any of you guys have. But any amount of partial ownership makes it difficult to just force someone to step down. Hold on. Okay, this is 4/9/2029/2025. Okay, this is her stream. I okay, this is okay. Not being named fully to begin with, as I am not sure how much business knowledge as any of you guys have, but any amount of partial ownership makes it difficult to just force someone to step down. They can step down willingly, but I highly suggest she does. If she has any ounce of guilt or regret at anything, she would do it herself to protect the others, to truly show that she cares about the others that have to forcefully associate with her. Alongside her, despite the damage she has caused in their careers, not just morally and emotionally, but has financially. Like, debuts can be expensive. If I have to guess where this is going, I think GamerSubs is kind of forced to wait for her to return. I'm pretty sure she has I'm certain of hope that she's currently far from the interwebs. So currently there isn't really anything you can do. But if I had to speculate on a few options that could happen if she comes back, surrenders her shares and sells them at a fair market value. She can protect the people who no longer wishes to be associated alongside a brand that supports her, that she has once been the face of. Either she does this not only as a sign to show that she can and is bettering herself, and she is making decisions to start undoing some of the hurt and distancing herself from the ones she has hurt. So they no longer have to associate alongside her forcefully, or she does the opposite, and we'll see. I don't know. Or she simply remains just an affiliate of the brand, not a bigger name, and not in anything. She's just part of the affiliation. And we know from the evidence that I presented in the screenshots earlier, Cinder did all that. Cinder sold her shares, and that proves that Cinder's actually making changes for the better. I want to make this clear. I reached my decision to give up my part ownership myself, and Shiley had nothing to do with my choice. But Shiley said this is if I needed to repeat the lies she and the others told about me. GamerSubs had nothing to do with anything that happened, but that didn't stop Shiley from telling her viewers it was what she wanted me to do. If Shiley really cared about the impact my part ownership would have had on GamerSubs, she would have considered having things privately with me instead of being the driving force in making all these lies public. Losing the company hundreds of thousands of dollars, she publicly knew all of this controversy about me could be a way to push me out of the company. All while keeping her own hands clean. It wouldn't look good for Shiley to go after the other GamerSubs owner after all. 2 days after the stream on 5/21/2025, Shiley couldn't help herself and make an announcement in the V-Card production server where the staff, VTubers, and artists keep develop the game, notifying everyone she chose to involve the overly 70 people in the server in what happened personally. I don't have a screenshot of the Discord notifications or full message because it was deleted shortly after it was made. However, I have a screenshot of my notification history from the day when it happened, showing a part of what she said. Okay, 5/1/2025. Okay, screenshot. 4 notifications. Hey Twitch partner, front page applications are now open. Okay. Want to be featured on Twitch front page application? Okay. Log hub. Hey crew, I know it's been a terrible effing week. I hope you're all holding up. I'm not good with words and drama and emotions. All the business. But I just want to say I feel sorry for you guys dealing with this stuff, and none of you. Okay. Okay. So this right here is proof that this actually happened. I feel sorry for you guys dealing with this stuff. It's none of your business of you or your business concern. If Shiley wasn't trying to get everyone in the server involved, then no one would have to be dealing with this stuff like she said. Here's the Discord channel it was in. Okay. Here's the proof of that date of the screenshot. Okay. All right. At some point, she even took the time to go back and delete her reply to my part ownership announcement. I'm officially part owner for Gamer Subs. They've been incredibly partnered to work with, and I'm honored to have been given the opportunity. Thank you for making the possible drink Pyro Power. Water and Firebox legendaries for real. Post was deleted by the post author. Very interesting. Not only did Shy Lady admit to always having a bad feeling about me, but I believe Shy Lady had a problem with me because of my performance in Gamer Subs. I was now a part owner and a title she exclusively held as a VTuber before me, something unique to her. I would always be planning and launching things with Gamer Subs, something she was unwilling to do, like she said on her stream from 3/29/2025. She viewed that as a cash grab, as greedy, but I don't think being part owner was a problem. I think most importantly, she didn't like how enthusiastic I was about VCard and the role I was carving out for myself. Not only did I mistakenly give out misinformation early on when V-Card launched, like I showed in that section, but mine became the most sought after V-Card in her game. Oh. If Lily did all of this out of spite and jealousy, that is some hella projection on her part. But that would actually make a lot of sense. Shy Lily has said multiple times, and if this is true, Shy Lily tried to destroy Cinder's life and career over jealousy and something, and she didn't like the fact that Cinder's cards were more sought after than Shy Lily's cards. That would explain so much. And oh my gosh, I was right on my speculation. It had something to do with V card. The Charizard of V card. Oh, the Charizard and Blastoise of V card doing the gas. Oh, like how dare you sit there and pretend to be some box legendary of something that you didn't create? Disgusting. Trust me, we all cringe, but people sometimes get excited and they cringe, and they get excited and they do cringe-worthy stuff. I called myself the Charizard to advertise myself in the game and advertise the cards themselves. Everyone knows Pokemon and everyone knows Charizard. V-Card's first set of cards was like Pokemon base set. I compared myself with Shy Lily, Charizard, and Blastoise of the VTuber card game because we were the two VTuber part owners of Gamer Subs, like Pokemon Red and Blue. Calling myself this wasn't to try to steal her thunder in her game or take credit for it in any way. I may have called her Blastoise, but she's literally the Pikachu of V cards. Shy Lady didn't like me calling myself the Charizard. She didn't like the prominence it gave me in her game, but Gamer Subs did. This is from one of my Gamer Subs contacts in this December. We will call them GS1. I figured I would keep this here just so it helps conversation in different places for different things. Here's our release schedule V card. All water element creators and mascots, VTuber rewards, launch, grass elements, all fire element creator mascots, electric, all support cards, launch day video. Today in about 50 minutes, the water element video will go out. I'll link it right after this. That's it. Nothing much more than that. Fire is on 12/26, so that's when everyone will officially get to see the Charizard. Oh, okay. The only other cool thing in this Saturday, the 14th, for the VTuber Awards, we are doing a VTuber Awards promo card. Also on the 14th, some of the very basic V card merch will be sold on GS website. There is already in order being placed for you. It's very limited quantity and is just V-Card branded. So realistically, not much info is here. Just wanted to keep everyone updated. This is from another person at Gamersudge GS2 a few days before V-Card launch on 31st, 2025. Hello, Cinder. I've come with two announcements. Dropping first, 29 at 3 p.m. Eastern, is our new AFK plus support live with Melatonin. AFK, Melatonin, it will be available. Berry, Bedtime Flavor, or collaboration with Silvervale. It is also dropping in our standard AFK formula as well. V-Card Rising Stars is launching January 31st, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about it. V-Card TCG isn't just a trading card game. It's an exciting collectible universe that brings VTubers and creator culture to life like never before, with stunning artwork, chase artworthy rarities, and a deep commitment to champion real artists. V-Card is redefining when it means to collect. Raising Star is where it all begins, featuring a variety of art styles, ultra limited prints, and then elusive one-of-one signature god rares. Every pack is an experience. Every pull is a moment. Really amazing how this massive project all came together, and what an honor to have you be part of V-Card. Can't wait to see everyone ripping packs in the search for the Charizard card of the week. Another message from GS1 over a month after V-Card launched. Hey guys, I just want to check in if there's any rules, restrictions. Okay, this was all talked. Okay, this we went over before. Excuse me. And here's a message from another person on Gamersubs GS. Cinder signed art card, first edition box topper, V-Card Rising Star. 700. Oh my gosh. Oh. Set to awaken words. Out of the very few VTubers not returning in set 2 of V-Card, I was one of them. However, that wasn't supposed to be the case. My 3 cards for set 2 were complete before I was cancelled, and I was going to be a water type. I was told weeks after my cancellation that I had been removed from the lineup. Here's a crop version of one of my card artworks that was unused. I may be wrong about this, but after I was cancelled and removed, another VTuber who I didn't remember being part of the set was able to be added and presumably fill my vacant water card slot. The claims about Numi's concert. Okay. Oh. Okay. What was that? Hold on. Okay, there's like 40 pages left. Okay. Okay, this claims about Numi's concert and her stream. 420. Okay. Okay. Like I said in this section about this, I was expected to talk about this in my apology when it was never mentioned in Nanobao's document, because why would it have been? It was about Numi, who was not one of my accusers, and it was settled privately between Numi and I in January, where I already took accountability for my actions. This event was publicly used against me, especially by Shy Lily, after I had already made my apology and had no way to defend myself or tell my side of the story. It was vaguely talked about without ever showing any evidence to support the narrative of me betraying and manipulating my friends. Over half a year planning. Bao said I was planning Numi's concert with her over half a year. Shiley said there was months continuing planning in reply to my apology. I experienced proceeds to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning. Lord, if this was planned with me over half a year, why was Numi's first message to me inviting me as a guest on 11/15/2024, 2024, about 2 months before the concert, and only a month later, and I just over 5 weeks before the show, message read, not me to start planning my performance to attend Numi's concert in New York City was on February 1st. Her concert in general may have been planned for longer, but not my inclusion in it. Okay, well, we've already read all these. All of this was in the Numi section. Was there a Numi section? Yes, V-Card and Numi's concert. Yes, that. It was already in there. No remorse. Shiley said, I never felt bad for failing my friends in reference to Numi's concert and on stream. Said, and I, and the only time she ever felt sorry in both apologies and before, guess what? She put in her fucking place. Never feeling bad for failing them. This is a lie. Here's the tweet I made in the middle of the night after I messaged Numi about not coming to her show and before I heard from her. I feel like I've been let down to a lot of friends lately. This year I really want to do more with them and reach out to do more people. Okay, yeah, we already read this. Broken promise. Child Lady said I broke an important promise on stream and said Numi receiving an empty promise from me. To be exact date on your friends needed. Oh my gosh, of course. The New York concert may be. I never announced a guest just in case. I wouldn't want to pressure her or anything, to be honest, if she's 100% comfy. You guys don't. Okay, these are talk with Red. We saw all this in context in Numi in the V card section. Shifting blame. Shia Lily said, I blamed her for my decision not to go to Numi's concert, and I used her as part of an excuse as to why I had to let my friends go. You actively lied to them. Instead of blaming me for a club, you rescheduled, adding me to the pool of excuses why to save your ass when you realize why blame me for choosing you miss an obligation you agreed to. I didn't blame Shy Lily, and I didn't blame and I did not lie to Numi. My reason was always primarily my part ownership promotion with GamerSubs and the responsibility I felt to be there for V Card launch. While the collab was part of it, it was never the main reason, and likely would have been would have made the same decision if there wasn't a collab planned. Okay, we already read this. This is after the past. Putting you in a situation make you feel okay. This was the apology that Cinder gave to Numi, and this is her talking about that, about her whole thing with GamerSubs. And the reason this is all said in Numi's portion of the doc, so you can read it there if you want. Cinder wasn't at the concert. Bao told her audience for 2725 that I didn't go to Numi's concert, which we have screenshots to prove that she did, and that Cinder's not lying. Shiley also implied I wasn't there in her reply to my apology, and then said on stream she wasn't sorry because she fucked over a friend's opportunity on a day she said she'd be there. Why blame me for choosing the miss obligation you agreed to? One of the most important days in your friend's career. But I was there. I told Shiley I was going to Numi's concert in our DMs immediately after our V-Card collab on February 1st. Thank you again, Lily. I had so much fun. I would have loved to yap more. And sorry if it felt like I left hella fast, LMAO. But I'm actually zooming to Numi's concert in New York City, keeping it private, though. Right here. This is evidence. Cinder contacted Lily to tell her and say, hey, I'm going to Numi's concert. About stream, when she originally talked about Numi's concert, she said, I was there herself. I was on Numi's stream with Bao and Numi in her hotel room the next morning on February 2nd. Here's a clip of that stream where we're talking about the concert. Okay? For some reason, it won't let me click it, but that's probably just my whole setup here. If there's a clip of Vienna talking about me being here, and here's a clip of Vienna talking about me being literally in front of her at the concert. Numi Certified Fan Channel. Okay. She's given a thing for the clip of this whole thing, so you guys can check these things out here. If that's not enough, here's some screenshots of the video Red took of Numi's concert in New York City on February 1st. Yep. Okay. Yep. That's a video, and here's Numi's concert, and there's Numi right there. There's Numi again. You can see that these pictures took look just like the image of the concert in Numi's own tweet, including the stage lights in the crowd, and the outfit she was wearing. Thank you, New York. Oh, wait a minute. There's Numi right there. And Numi, of course, there's that. You all sounded so good. All right. The main thing I want to look at from Numi's stream is her retelling of what happened between us leading up to her concert, 2nd, 1st, 2025. Below is a full transcript of everything she said about it so you can see it in full context. I'll be breaking down the bold parts underneath that. One that needs to be clarified is that Numi had two concerts at the start of the year about a week apart from each other. She had one in LA on January 26th and the one in New York City on February 1st. I was only ever intended to perform on her show in New York City. In what she said below, it sounds like she refers to both of them in different points, but never clarifies which now she's talking about. Sold Out Summer in Los Angeles. Summer Dark. Sold Out Summer in the Dark, February 1st. Kinetic Fusion presents the moment of Summer in the Dark live. Okay, none of them. New Cubs fan channel. Okay. I'm somebody that I feel. Okay, this is from Numi Singh. I'm somebody that I feel there is an issue. I want to talk about it. It's uncomfortable, but it's something that I always want to do. And there was something that happened between us a couple months ago that I had talked to her about for months, and she agreed to and was super excited about. But any other things that I heard about were not from herself, but from Red. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out if I want to. I don't want to bring more into it. I don't want to make it worse. I don't want to, but I know if it isn't brought up and I want to add clarification, I think people can connect the dots on what happened. If you guys are in Numba and you were going to the concert, you probably were able to fill in the blanks with what happened. I was not upset about the fact that she couldn't perform because a lot of things that came with performing, like take a lot of you, courage to get out on stage, and it's not something that's for everyone, especially if you're a VTuber who's used to being behind the screen. My issue was never with that. My issue was the fact that I never knew how she was feeling. Anything that I was told was from Red. I just had a bunch of different issues for what potentially they were going able to do. It was very close to the date and a week and a half before when I got told about that. And I think the thing that sucks the most about it was because from her perspective she was talking about how excited she was, and when she was the same day from him, that he said they're not going to do it anymore. I have my music friend Holmes who sent you dozens of hours working on the set list for me and Office drummer to perform, and we put a lot of time and effort into putting this together and asked every single month for months and wasn't told about it until it was a point where he literally couldn't find a replacement. And even after that, I still didn't hear anything about how she actually felt. I was super sad. Obviously, Bao, even though she wasn't doing good, immediately said she would fly to New York with me and do the concert with me. And she didn't have to, but she did. And I think it's been said many times that she's my best friend and she saw me in state like that. And even though she was hurting, she put all that aside just to be there for me, and to be there for me when Cinder couldn't even tell me herself how she felt. I feel so sad thinking about how she did that for me and save her for nothing being able to go, and to find out that she felt that way about my best friend, who has never given me any reason to think that of her as one of the best people I've ever met now. And I talked to her about how I felt, and I told Bao how I felt, and I didn't really know what to do. And I said, I just want to hear it from her. I just wanted to hear how she felt. I would forgive it. I just want to know how she was feeling through all of it, and not through somebody else. And said if she does come to me and tell me what it is, tell me that it's any other reason that stage fright, anxiety, worries, I would not be happy. And I would not be happy. And I got a message from her a couple days after my concert saying that she couldn't go because she felt responsibility. As I said, the more thing I didn't want to hear was if she talked to me, if she put business above the friends, and I would have had literally accepted anything else. But the reason that she gave me was putting business above me over her new position. How she felt obligated to do the stream was she said she had to do it. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. I think that point is when I felt when I kind of felt like my views started to crumble a little bit. I think that just really sucked. I didn't reply because at that point I was on a ski trip with my friends who flew from different countries to watch me perform. I came back home and I had an amazing dinner and introduced my family to all my friends who flew in. And I just didn't want to think about somebody who would put business over me, you know? And then afterwards, I didn't. After I didn't reply, sent a message asking somebody they can make it after all, and then getting a message from Red saying she felt really guilty she couldn't go and we want to make it so that we can go there, be there for you. And I just think that's what really caused me to want to say something, and I did. I messaged Cinder and expressed my disappointment, and she apologized and told me all the reasons that she should have said something, bringing up the business. I forgave her, but I saw that she just brought up a collab that she said she couldn't miss, and I didn't believe that because if there's one person outside of Bao that I knew would not put business over me, it's Lily, and I found out that I was lied to, and that this was something that could have definitely changed and didn't have to be on the day of the concert. So yeah, I think after that I felt like a lot of trust was broken, and I would rather I just wanted to move on from, and that I couldn't see her in the same exact way after that. And like I said, there are some things that could have been said, but she didn't until I asked her. And I wanted what I wanted after I just asked her own opinions and her own feelings. And I do sit here. I sat wondering, what if I didn't say anything? What if she has said something at all? And it just feels, I don't know. So I hope you don't turn into somebody that will always prioritize the business over the people who care about you. And I guess that's also why I was shocked to see everything, but it's also made sense because what I saw, I just feel so fucking shit about it because these are just all things that with everything could have been prevented just by talking to people, just like it's also self-inflicted. I'm somebody that I feel if there's an issue I want to talk about. It's uncomfortable, but it's something that I always want to do. And there was something that happened between us a couple months ago that I had talked to her about for months and that she agreed to and was super excited about. But any of these things I heard about were not from her, but from Red. Yumi's first and only message to me about the concert was on 11/21, 2024. There, she invited me to go and didn't say anything about performing. This was about 2 months before New York City. So, New York City. By the way, okay. Apostle. Okay. She had messaged Red on 9/1, 2024 about me either performing or going to a show, but this never went anywhere and she never given an answer. We'll be good for sponsors, though. Okay. Yeah, we already read all these. Her next message about the concert was to Red a month later on 12/26, 2024 to start planning things. Excuse me. She did not message me about it. This was 5 weeks before her show in New York City. Which we already read all this in Numi's previous section with V-Card. My issue was the fact that I never knew how she was feeling. Anything that I was told was from Red. I agree that I should have talked to Numi much sooner than I did and had been open with her from the start. It was wrong of me to let her communicate my feelings for me. Numi never messaged me about the show or how I was feeling about it, only Red. She never told the public that she went to Red in her DMs for communication about this from the start. I just had a bunch of different reasons for why they were going to be able to do it. It was very close to date, a week and a half before when I got told about that. Red's message to Numi about why I might not perform over 3 weeks, 22 days before the concert in New York City. All right, these were all from Numi section as well. And to think the thing that sucks the most about it was because from her perspective she was talking about how excited she was, and then it's the same day from him that he said they're not going to do it anymore. Oh. On this, well, let me take a drink. On the same day as Red's messages to Numi above, I messaged Numi about matching shirts she was making for us. I was excited about wearing them to the concert or during our collab in the hotel together and said nothing about my performance. I understand why this was confusing in contrast to what Red said to her earlier that day. Okay, okay, yeah. We already went all through these before. 3 days later, when Red told. I don't need that. My computer doesn't overheat. Stupid notifications. 3 days later. 3 days later is when Red told Numi I wasn't going to perform. This was 19 days before the concert in New York City. When Numi said a week and a half before, I can only assume she was talking about the date of her LA concert, which I wasn't performing at, but even that was a day under 2 weeks away. Cinder decided not to perform in this show. She's nervous to sing with the live mic. No worries. I I have my music friend Holmes who spent dozens of hours working on the set just list for you. You know me and my office drummer to perform and put a lot of time and effort into putting this together and asked every single month for months and I wasn't told about it until at a point where we literally couldn't find a replacement. Numi told Red in Numi told Red in December that she already had a set list made with the opening for me to perform one of my own songs if I wanted to. If there were any songs already planned in the set list for me to perform, it was never communicated to Red or I. So, of course, we have here this. I'm going to give Numi some leeway here. She could very obviously be forgetting things, and I don't think Numi was doing anything malicious in her whole stream when she was talking about this. I don't know what Numi means by I asked every single month for months and wasn't told about it until it was at a point where we literally couldn't find a replacement. Numi's message above to Red was the one time she asked either of us about my performance in the concert, and the only time she messaged either of us first about planning in general. She did not ask either of us every single month for months, when this one message from her was 5 weeks before her concert. On stream, she said they literally couldn't find a replacement for me. But from her messages to Red, it sounded like she didn't need a replacement guest. It was her show. She had a set list made, and as far as I ever knew, it didn't include me at the time. I pulled out. She told Red 3 days before she canceled that she never announced me as a guest, and I shouldn't feel pressure to perform or even go at all. I never announced a get list. Wouldn't pressure her or anything. Okay, so yes, Numi is saying all of that here. Bao put all of that aside just to be there for me and to be there for me when Cinder couldn't even tell me herself how she felt. I feel so mad. I feel so mad thinking about how she did that for me and to save her for not being able to go and find out how she felt that way about my best friend who had never given me any reason not to think that as one of the best people I've ever met. And I talked to her about how I felt, and I told Bao how I felt, and I didn't really know what to do, and I said I just want to hear from her. When Numi said Bao saved me for not being able to go, it sounds like I didn't go to the concert at all. I actually did. I did not feel the way she thinks I did, but Bao, as explained in her section of this document, and she was infinitely better friend than I was in that situation. Numi said she told Bao about how she felt about me performing, but never confronted me about it. At the start of this retelling, Numi said, I'm somebody that I feel if there's an issue, I want to talk about it. It's uncomfortable, but it's something I always want to do. I agree. I should have talked to Numi, but she made it seem like it wasn't a problem for me not to perform to Red. If it really was an issue, like she's saying, she never messaged me either. I just wanted to know how she felt, how she was feeling through all of this, and not through somebody else. And and I and if she does come up to me and tell me that it's any other reason, then straight fright, anxiety, worries. Oh, excuse me. to me and tell me there's any other reason, then stage fright, anxiety, worries. I would not be happy, and I get a message from her a couple days after my concert saying that she couldn't go because she felt responsibility as okay. This is just she as part owner because of she gave me putting business above me on other positions and how she felt obligated to do this on stream, and she said she had to do because go for it, go for it. Again, Numi doesn't specify what concert she's talking about here. I messaged her the night after a concert in LA, not after the show I was supposed to perform in New York City. Hi Numi, I hope your concert went well. Yes, okay, so yeah, this is Cinder going over and showing timestamps. Numi right there. Just like Charlotte is mixing up these two separate things into one, I did put my career over her, and that was wrong of me. The stage fright, anxiety, and worries were all true as to why I didn't perform, and that decision was made 2 weeks before this one. I did not anywhere tell Numi I felt obligated to do this stream, and she said she had to go. She had to do, like she said, and she didn't reply telling me to go for it. My collab with Sha Lily wasn't even scheduled at the time. My performance was canceled on 1/13/2025, and it wasn't my reason for choosing not to go to our show later on. After I didn't reply, sent a message asking maybe they can make it after all, and then getting a message from Ed saying she felt really guilty, she couldn't go, and went to make it so that we can be there for you. And I just think that's what really caused me to want to say something, and I did. And messaged Cinder and expressed my disappointment, and she apologized and told me all the reasons that she would have had said instead of bringing up the business. The night I sent my first message to Numi, I did feel guilty about it, but it was Red who told her that when it should have been me. Here, Numi again confuses the two different reasons for not performing and not going to her show. Okay, there's the messages that we have read before. And there's Cinder's tweet that I read before. I forgave her, but I saw that she brought up a collab that she said she couldn't miss, and I didn't believe that because there's one person outside of Bao that I knew would not put business over me. It's Lily, and I found out that I was lied to, and that this was something that could have definitely been changed and didn't have to be on that day of concert. What did I say that? Where did I lie to Numi and say that? What did I say is that I could reschedule. What I did say is that I could reschedule the collab to make my mistake up to her. Hi Numi, hope your concert was well yesterday, and pictures didn't look like it was bumping. I meant my message sooner, but I didn't want to bum you out before your show. Red and I won't be able to come to New York City show this weekend. I didn't expect V Card release date to get pushed back to your concert date, and I feel obligated to be around for the launch weekend at a Gamer Subs owner now. I really wanted to be there for you, but I know not going to kill it. I know you're going to kill it. I'm sorry, and I miss you. Wait, I think I found a train that can leave after later. Red and I are trying to figure it out. When does your show start? Okay, this is okay right here. I can ask Lily to reschedule our plans again to be there sooner. Okay, so this is Cinder telling Numi that she can reschedule and actually be there. I believe Shiley convinced Numi to see things her way and made her believe my intentions were to hurt, sabotage, and lie to her. The same way she convinced Nano to believe Red was lying and manipulating her. I just sat wondering that if I didn't say anything, would she have been said anything at all? And it just feels I don't know. I said I hope you don't turn into somebody that will always prioritize business over the people who cares about you. No, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have kept my mistake to myself and hoped Numi didn't hate me because of it. I could not open up about how I feel. It was this conversation with Numi that made me take steps to change the way I've been so close off to people. And it made me realize I can't keep holding everything up. I wasn't going to put business over a friend in a situation like this again. and just wanted to be absolutely sure I was there for her at her next show. Did you ever plan a day for your Chicago concert, Numi? We've been on hold for venues. Okay, so already read that. Numi, Bao, and Shy Lily couldn't have been Numi, Bao, and Shy Lily couldn't have been misinformed on what happened Numi's concert. They knew what happened, what I said, and that I was at the show. I'm choosing to believe Numi and Bao didn't intentionally lie about the concert. Emotions were high, and maybe they were speaking from feelings rather than fact. And the story told to the public wasn't true, and no evidence of what happened was shown. Another thing I want to address is what Numi said about Bao and Tricky being isolated. I've already conceded Bao was isolated due to my actions and apologizing intersection of this document. And I apologize to Tricky in the accountability section for leaving her behind that day in Japan, but Tricky was not isolated by me or Red. I was doing things all the time with her online and with Boss Rush, and Red and I were almost always with Tricky during every trip we were together when no one else was. All the time was spent around Tricky made her one of my our closest friends. Red and I have done more for her than anyone else. Tricky confided in us about all the time she felt hurt by the others when traveling. But Tricky, like myself, has always wanted to keep the peace between everyone instead of bringing things like that up. Okay, that would probably explain why Tricky. I could be wrong, but that would explain why Tricky never said anything, or why Tricky didn't release a Google Document. All right. Anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta take another leak. All right, I'm back. All right. Alrighty. Do. Let me take a drink before I get going. All right. All right. Let's continue with this. Where are we at? Okay. We're at 158 of 183. Okay. And what time is it? Okay. 3:15. Okay. Okay. All right. How far is this section? Okay. Alright. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to get through as much of this as I can before 4 o'clock. But if I have to, I do want to finish this section. All right. Throughout this document, I've been basing my argument on the assumption that Nano didn't share the full story of what happened between her, Red, and Shiloh Lee, my friends, and the public, and instead lied to save her ass as Shiloh Lee would. Shiloh Lee would say, "Why? Here is what led me to believe this was the case. Nano had Shiloh Lee on her side from the start because she was the one who told Nano she was being manipulated. No matter the story she told or little evidence she showed, Shiloh Lee would back Nano up to my friends. Nano couldn't go to Bao herself about what she showed Shiloh Lee because she would have had to show the full context of Bao's modeling being canceled to her. Nano had Shiloh Lee contact Bao so she could explain things and vouch for her story. Nano also wasn't going to show Shiloh Lee what she had said about her best friend Bao. The Oh, okay, yeah, good point. The exclusivity deal between Red and Nano had nothing tangible happen to anyone other than Nano as a result of it, including Bao's model being canceled, something Bao never hinted at knowing Nano could have lied about. It never being agreed to without ever showing the full DMs, just like it's lied about never happening in her document that Shiloh Lee presumably wrote for her. Nano blamed all of the past model cancellations on us under the excuse of years of manipulation, and that Shiloh Lee gave her all of my friends, including Shiloh Lee, were all saying that all of this was happening over years and going on for so long with nothing when nothing was. They all used the timeline to support their belief that there was no way I didn't know about the few things Red actually did without telling me. On her stream, when talking about making her decision to make everything public, Bao said, "And I know that for so many people to be affected, that it was the right decision to do. It was my friend." Sorry, it was. I know for so many. It was my friends had the full story. If my friends had the full story, they would have known nothing was happening over years. Nano wasn't manipulated, and she was guilty of affecting. She was guilty of affecting so many people with her own cancellations. Yep, already read through all those. The decision to make things public was left up to Bao, and if she didn't say something, no one else would. Even though all of the alleged evidence wrongdoings was in Nano DMs, who claimed she was the victim of abuse and manipulation, sabotage of other VTubers for years, she wasn't going to make the statement on her own. Red asking Nano not to work with Spite wasn't shown in her document, even with the messages about Spite being included. Why? You'd think it'd support her story, sabotaging other creators. I believe it wasn't shown in her document or to my friends at all because Red didn't manipulate Nano to do it. Red asked her and Nano willingly agreed with him the same way she didn't show her gladly and willingly agreeing to get exclusivity deal. She wasn't manipulated and her story would fall apart. Yep. Nano replied to Silvervale's document saying, "I literally can't believe this," as if she didn't know exactly how why Silvervale's model was actually canceled. If my friends had seen everything, they would have known Nana was guilty of doing this herself. Yeah, I've already read all that. Bao's document doesn't crop out Nano's messages calling her exclusivity deal with Red fair. If Bao knew everything that happened and was trying to lie to protect Nano, the message would have been cropped like it is in Nano's document, which Shiloh Lee had a big hand in putting together. My friend's confirmation bias towards me because of Numi's concern and Bao's feelings of isolation gave Nano the cover to leave out details in her story and what was shown to them. They weren't concerned with Nano's actions, but the actions they were convinced I did by her and Shiloh Lee, I believe Shilely pushed everything along to be executed in a matter of days, and Bao was given the choice to make everything public when she wasn't in great headspace and after surgery. There was also a lot of time to think the evidence over, and no one communicated with me to find out my end side of the story. Is it more believable that one person lied with the support of another to convince my friends that their story, or that almost a dozen people of all my closest friends all willingly agreed to and conspired to publicly lie about me in a matter of days? When I started this document, I was under the belief that all of my friends lied about what happened to protect Nano and hurt me for Bao's sake. As naive as it may be of me, and even though there's evidence for that actually being what happened to, I'm choosing to believe that wasn't the case. If I'm wrong about Nano lying to my friends and they actually did everything in their DMs, then that means they all lied about me. It is also plausible that Nano shared more of her DMs with Shalili than the rest of my friends, since she helped Nano put her document together, helping her lie. Even though she claimed she was a victim, Nano didn't hesitate to post the most recent artwork I commissioned from her only 2 days after she posted her document. I forgot to post this since its debut doing it now, just so we don't waste it. She even had, that's right, she had the gall to do that. So yeah, Cinder even mentions that she could be wrong, that all of them could be lying, and they all did this on purpose to lie about her. Which could be the case, couldn't be the case. I'm not going to speculate on that. Shalili was involved in everything from Shalili's manipulation. Shalili was involved in everything from the start and came out of this the hero. There isn't a lot of hard evidence of it, but due to her actions and things she said, I believe she may have manipulated everyone and how everything played out. She seemed to have a lot of knowledge about how a narcissistic manipulator would act, so let's look at her own actions. Shy Lily lied to Nano and manipulated her to believe she was being lied to and manipulated by Red about the things she was saying when she wasn't. Shalili most likely wrote Nano's document for her. She used Nano's information to tell whatever story she wanted, writing lie after lie, and then had it posted as if she had nothing to do with it on her stream. Shalili said she was afraid of how I manipulate my way out of things after the documents were posted with that. It's possible that Shalili could have been the one to instruct Nano to separate herself from Red, and due to the threat of being further manipulated. Being why Nano cut contact with us through Akira, if Shiley told my friends the same thing, then I'd support why no one ever reached out to talk to me. Excuse me. Shiley was the one to back Nano's story and false claims of manipulation of Bao, and the rest of my friends with the limited screenshots Nano gave them as proof. Excuse me. Shiley was the one to back up Nano's story and false claims of manipulation to Bao, and the rest of my friends with the limited screenshot Nano gave them as proof. Shiley convinced Numi I lied to her in our private conversation about her concert and blamed the song. Shiley convinced Numi I lied to her in our private conversation about her concert and blamed the things I did on Shy Lily. Shy Lily also could have used this event to justify to my friends why they shouldn't talk to me on stream. They said they tried talking to me once in reference to this to explain why they didn't talk to me this time. Shy Lily was the one who saw me as greedy and jealous, and I believe she pushed those ideas to my friends and convinced them those were my motives behind their claims. Shy Lily's reply to my apology started with manipulating the public to distrust everything I wrote. The rest is filled with lies to turn everyone against me. On stream, Shy Lily basically told her chat that they're stupid if they don't blindly agree with her and her retelling of events, and that I'm the narcissistic manipulator. This started because Shy Lily lied to and manipulated Nano, my friends, and the public wouldn't have had any reason to trust anything Shy Lily said. And they had other reasons to jump to conclusions too. Shy Lily didn't like me for her own reasons, and I didn't, and wanted to hurt me because of what was said about Bao and Nano's DMs with Red. She brought everyone together and manipulated things along to turn everyone against me. They'd admitted on stream to all the slander Red told Nano. Reward for lying speculation. After lying about our years of working together, Nano was rewarded with over 50,000 followers on Twitter, a waifu cup with gamer subs, a makeshift plushie, everyone in the world wanting to work with her, the support and praise of the biggest VTubers out there, and endless sympathy for everyone she endured while working. She endured while working with me. It's up to you. You can set me up. So you can set me on fire. I don't care. Nano Cup is up. Charlotte did not only replaced me in my own friend group, but as the hero of the story, she gained the biggest and most constant growth in her viewership after canceling me out of everyone involved. Jeez. Yep, Charlotte profited a ton. I'm the greedy one, but Shy Lily didn't miss the opportunity to capitalize on her new hero status a week after she tore me apart on her stream and dropped her limited edition blowhole blast. New outfit, limited edition blowhole blast. 9th of May. Okay. Nano and Shy Lily lied to each other, then lied together, each of their own reasons. Nano to avoid any accountability for her actions and to stay on the good graces of Shy Lily and friends, and Shy Lily to get revenge for Bao and take out someone she didn't like and admitted never did. They both gained the most out of doing this and possibly never knew they lied to each other's faces for their own ends. Now Shy Lily may have replaced me as Nano's new Cinder, judging by what they're actively working on together. They couldn't have made my point for me any better. Oh, come on. That is just a... Wow. Oh, wow. Literally, let Nano, after all of the stuff that Cinder helped Nano with, well, Cinder and Red helped Nano with, gave her work, blessed her quite a bit. Cinder even put Nano's little eye, as we can see right... Hold on. As we can see right... Hold on. Why won't my mouse... Anyway, in the V card thing, directly at the behind the pause button, there is Nano's eye symbol. As we've seen before in the screenshots, Cinder put that everywhere because she appreciated and loved Nano. And Nano, straight up, is a backstabbing snake. No one should... Oh, my word. And this is... Dear Lord... What is this? This is just a straight-up copy of... Oh, wait a minute. They've got pictures down... This is... Dear Lord. Even though... Dear Lord. There are some differences, but the base design of the costume is the same. Nano couldn't have come up with something different and not so blatant. Even the horns are the same. And why in the world would you put horns on Lily? She's a whale. Her whole lore with her is she's a whale a dead, reincarnated whale god that that would have nothing to do with the horns. Why put them there? I mean, fine, make the costume very similar, but why in the world would you put the horns right there? A Skeb was try. Hold on. Okay, I'm actually almost done. Okay, I'm getting close. There's one last thing I want to show to really cover all my bases. I didn't know where else to put it, so I added it here. I asked Shiley if I could get a skeb of us together after it was delivered. I intentionally waited about 3 weeks to send it to her so I could post it closer to my original VTuber debut date that I was also prepping for a year and a half. I messaged Shiley about getting a skeb together in January. This was our first time talking privately, but we were interacting on Twitter back and forth for a couple weeks before this. Hi Lily, hope you're having a great day. I want to ask if you'd be okay with me ordering a skeb of us two. I think the water and fire theme would be really cute. Oh, I would love that. Okay, so this is just evidence of them talking. One of the first things Lily ever privately said to me was that our themes together reminded her of Groudon and Kyogre. I thought it was pretty cringe of her to say that, as if she was some kind of box legendary in a skib she wasn't even helping pay for. Even though she made the comparison, it's not like she ever portrayed herself in a Groudon and Kyogre-esque fight scene against a fire-themed enemy where she came out as the hero and saved her friends, especially not just months after she took pleasure in and had a major role in canceling me. Oh. Oh. Oh, what a bitch. Oh. What? No. Put back. Okay, I'm gonna have to mess with some of these buttons because I had no idea there was a button on my keyboard that allowed that. Oh, that did that. Okay. I know how long. Okay, let's continue. I know how long a project like this takes to complete, and even though I'm sure Shelley had a story she wanted to tell, someone else was credited with writing this lore video. I just find it ironic that it happened. That it happened. The skib was delivered at the end of May on. Okay. All right. Files. I sent Shiley the complete artwork on the 19th and posted it on 6/23rd, 2022, 2 days before my debut. Okay, so this is all when Shiley started. Okay. Oh my word, reminds me of Groudon and Kyogre. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. Okay, so this. Okay, yeah. Lily, I hope you've been doing well. Skib's finally delivered and was so worth the wait. I hope you like it. Thank you again for allowing me to get this. I'm going to cherish it forever. Okay. So freaking cute. It looks amazing. Let me know when you tweet it out so I can retweet it. Okay. Okay. By the time this art was posted, it had just been shy of 6 months since this skib was placed. The Whale and the Wolf. Okay. Cinder's posting it again. Hold on. What was that? Okay. I'm almost finished up. Hopefully I can. Okay. I just might get this done before 4 o'clock. Cool. Since I just talked about the skib with Shy Lily, I might as well address this too. For years, the skibs I had gotten with people had been held against me, as I were just you. Since I just talked about the skib with Shy Lily, I might as well address this too. For years, the skibs I had gotten with people had been held against me, as if I were just using the people I got them for clout. Shalili Skeb was the only one that I held off on giving her to post right before my debut. Wasn't my intention. When it was ordered in January, I was ordering Skeb artwork from January 2021 to January 2023, and about 3/4 of my Skebs were ordered before my original debut on 6/25/2022. Before I was an actual VTuber with a model. I got skibs for fun. I show thanks to people to grow existing friendships and to have art to post on Twitter while I waited for my debut to get ready. Every VTuber I had gotten a skib together with was either with someone I was actively working with and had already worked with, or with someone who I was already friends with or acquainted with at the time. I ordered them. I asked everyone for their permission to get one beforehand, except for the few cases it was a surprise meant to be a gift for someone. As far as I remembered and can tell by my financial files, I paid for all of these myself, including Shy Lilies, and I never expected anyone to chip in. This is every skib I ordered, with about half of them being of myself. I centered skibs below are not safe for work. There are two skibs with Tricky and Aru that didn't show up on this page that I've shown below, and that I've shown below instead. Okay. Okay. Not safe for work, I'm guessing. Okay. Okay, yeah. There's one. Okay. All right. There's Tricky. All right. There's several. Okay, not safe for work. Okay. All right. Yeah, Cinder. Okay. All right. That's complete. 20,000. 5,000. Okay. I'm guessing that's in Japanese. Okay. Bao's. Okay. In conclusion, Bao's section Red explained his grudge against Bao that led this to his and now's exclusivity deal. Doesn't matter explaining why Red held things against Bao that he told Nano about, or explaining that I only treated Bao differently because of Red's feelings torture. No, but since this was all made public, it had to be explained. Both of us both of us did was wrong, and we should have addressed the problem when we could have. But it, but it matters how Red got to his conclusion about Bao. Red couldn't see the whole situation around Bao and Sack or any other way. After Sack went exclusive, Red pieced together every section he experienced, and it was from Rao's corroborated story based on assumptions and pattern of behavior that made perfect sense to him. He ignored any of the good things Bao had done, now thinking she was being fake about everything. He didn't contact Bao about any of this at all to verify his theory. He was angry at her and already made up his mind about what she'd done and thought she'd lie about anyone. Red eventually tried to get even with her by making a deal with Nano to take the opportunity of working with her away from Bao. Once the truth came out, he turned out to be wrong. What Red did, piece together an assumed story about someone from observations and experiences with them, after something negative happened regarding them, adding up to the supposed pattern of behavior focused solely on the negative things that happened with that person, that fit the confirmation bias towards them, never considering any of the positives with all became part of the conspiracy. Never contacted the person to find out the truth of the story due to being angry at them for what was already determined happened and thinking they'd lie their way out of accountability. Took retaliatory action against the person in response to what it was assumed they did. The story about the person turned out to be wrong to begin with. Well, couldn't Bao and my friends have done the same thing? They heard what Nano and Shiley were telling them, saw select screenshots of Red's messages with Nano, and assumed there couldn't be any other way but me knowing and agreeing with everything Red said and did. They used their combined experiences with us to back up their theory, were convinced of my motives by someone other than myself, and corroborated a pattern of behavior no matter what I'd done for them or what we did together in the past. Everything was now seen as an act to use and portray them. None of them contacted me at all to verify their claims, and instead jumped to conclusions. Excuse me. They were made at me for what they were already convinced I did, and were probably told I'd manipulate my way out of it. Then they took action against me that they thought I deserved in return by writing and posting their documents to the public. My friends made their decision with the information they were given. They were quick to assume that everything Red said were my shared thoughts, but they weren't. My friends never saw red, and I argued, didn't know we lived together, never knew I cheated on Red, and couldn't have known our friendship was beyond what they saw during half a dozen times we traveled every year. They decided that this was their culmination of some long series of wrongs I've committed against them to further myself. I am not a perfect person by any means, but to claim that everything I've ever done with my friends, for them, shared with them, felt with them, was all fake is wrong and unbelievable. Where are any of the screenshots of me bad mouthing, backstabbing, or sabotaging them? They they were not rugs on a ladder for me to suppress. I've never had real friends until I found them. They used their status in the community as some of the biggest VTubers around, abusing me in the middle of the night to publicly out of the person they were falsely convinced. Hold on. They used their status in the community as some of the biggest VTubers around, ambushing me in the middle of the night to publicly out the person they were falsely convinced was some kind of evil mastermind. They 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 all did this together, so no one was going to question their group's corroborated story. It was okay to ruin me and ignore our history together because they were convinced they were doing it for the sake of friendship. If you asked questions or asked for more evidence, they were banned, blocked, and silenced because how dare you question these grieving in difficult time. The public wouldn't have known any better unless I gave the full context of what really happened in this document rather than what was vaguely told to them through their recollection and hurt feelings. Bao lost out on a VTuber with Nanolist, the artist who wanted to cancel it in the first place and who convinced her it was my fault. I decided to pull out of my unplanned performance on Numi's concert because of my own anxieties, and I was a bad friend when I made the choice initially not to be there for her. I lost my friends, my career, countless opportunities, and my reputation to millions of people has been ruined permanently. My name has been dragged through the dirt and has become an insult synonymous with insecurity and betrayal. I am avoided being spoken of like I am VTuber Voldemort now, and some people are pretending like I never existed. These things are not equal. The damage my friends are inadvertently caused to me is irreparable and immeasurable. All over my conjecture lies that were fed, things I never knew happened, and opinions I did not agree with. Whatever they knew, the truth or not, they all perpetrated lies about me to the public, and my life has been forever and altered because of it. Despite it all, I still forgive them. Newbie said on her stream that talking about things is always the better option. The pivotal things for my friends didn't do was the pivotal thing that my friends didn't do was to talk to me or Red about anything, never hearing what he had to say about Nano Shilali's claims. Even Bao on her stream was left questioning the motive behind things. Everything that happened circles back to poor communication from everyone. Both Red and I didn't communicate with Bao about his problems with her in December 2024. I didn't commute with Numi about performing in her concert, and how I felt about it before I canceled on her. If there were ever really any problems Nano had with us, she never communicated it. Numi didn't communicate with me about her concert, only trying to plan things through Red and confided in Bao about how she felt about me canceling. Bao didn't communicate with me about her feelings of isolation, only expressing those feelings to Numi privately. Shilali didn't communicate with me about whatever problems she had with me and resorted to petty actions instead. No one communicated with me or Red before choosing to make everything public, ending in my cancellation. In conclusion, I don't think Nano's actions didn't start out malicious. She wanted to find out if what Red said was true, and Shilali used that against me. I do not believe Nano ever shared the full story of what happened between her and Red and I with my friends, and instead chose to protect herself and lie about everything. It's hard to believe Nano put her own document together, and it's heavily evidenced that Shilali did. Nano sat back and let Shilali take the wheel for her after knowingly lying about what happened between us. When you consider that Nano and Bao's documents were planned together and posted simultaneously, it was on purpose to put my betrayal of my friends, and first and foremost, even though Nano said she didn't care about Bao. After viewing the entirety of its DMs and Nano and having full context of their conversations, it's very clear that Nano's entire document was maliciously and deceptively written to push a false narrative to the public on which everyone else's claims could be based on, while using emotionally triggering language in its accusations throughout. With the biggest VTuber Shy Lily supporting her, no one would question Nano's claims. Even my friends, when put under scrutiny, there are so many details purposely left out, giving the freedom to tell whatever story they wanted, that the DMs that they were vaguely supported screenshots from conversations on 2 years presented out of order, missing context, and mixed and matched to fit a narrative, even going as far as to boldly edit a screenshot to remove a message claims were made without evidence, and straight up lies were told meant to be believed by the public who wouldn't know any better. Some of the claims in Nano's document don't even match the screenshots provided as evidence. It's like no one actually read the screenshot provided and either just read what was written or just listened to the large voices telling everyone that they said happened. The document was falsely written to paint Nano as a victim who had no agency in her choices without showing any of her guilt, and Red and I as evil, manipulative people who would only wanted to use Nano for her own gain, sabotaging every project she ever canceled and cherry-picking exactly what needed to be shown to make that case. Everyone who was told that everything in Red's messages had to be my thoughts and feelings as well, for all the blame to be put on me, as if he wasn't his own person. Only 3 total screenshots of my own words from 2 conversations over a year apart from each other were shown. The only manipulation here was to the evidence in Nano's document and to the public perception of me. Neither of us sabotaged any VTubers project with Nano. As you've seen in our messages, we've always praised Nano for the work she did with others. And I've always supported my model sisters, and I platformed them myself on my stream, even if I could also understand the reasoning behind Red saying more Nano models means they're less special. In the case of exclusivity deal in January 2025, Red asked Nano not to work with Bao Cotton or Silver Veil. Nano said she had a model plan with Bao that he didn't know about before, and Bao probably didn't know about it either. Nano offered to cancel Bao's model in exchange for payment of her own model's rigging. They negotiated and made a deal that was never shown to the public. To argue that Nano was manipulated in any way is crazy. Nano was just complicit in their deal with Red, as she had no problem asking him about and talking about the drama around Bao that her document claimed she wanted nothing to do with, and that offered to cancel Bao's model herself. I had nothing to do with this happening and had no knowledge of it until the documents were posted. Red and Nano are the only 2 people that could have told me about this, and neither of them did. There's nothing to show for it because it didn't happen. I can prove, and I can't prove a negative. Nano lied and pushed all the agency of her own actions onto Red. Then Shiloh and my friends took Red's agency away from him and his actions, and then blamed everything either on one of them, and blamed everything either one of them did to me. Nano lied and pushed all of her agency of her own actions onto Red. Then Shiloh and my friends took Red's agency away from him and his actions, and then blamed everything either one of them did on me. Nano used as a scapegoat for her canceling Bao's model when she was the one who wanted to do it in the first place. She canceled Silverveil and Cotton's models in November 2023, blamed it on us, and when she said she was going to take Silver's model back, she didn't because she was healthier and less stressed. She canceled several models in September 2024, avoiding accountability for herself and implying to those clients that it wasn't her fault, it was my fault. I don't know if the 10 canceled projects talked about in Red's DMs with Nano was everything she ever canceled or everything she blamed us for with her document, but it's all he ever knew about. Nana was clearly capable of thinking for herself and was always in control of her own business decisions. She repeatedly overextended herself and overbooked too many projects that she couldn't handle again and again. If Nana was able to cancel on some of the biggest VTubers out there, bigger than me, she could have chosen to cancel plans with or stopped working with me altogether. If she really felt the way what it says she did in her document, but not once did she. Instead, she said she just wanted to do Cinder stuff. We didn't hold any power over Nano. We didn't threaten her, we didn't blackmail her, and we didn't manipulate her. We were her most loyal, supportive, sympathetic, and repeated clients who genuinely cared about her, and she knew it. Even if Nano genuinely had anything against us, the way her document explains, which she never ever showed or expressed, she could have aired her grievances with us and parted ways, evidenced by our acceptance of Akira's messages, but instead she found herself in a situation, and as soon as it was advantage for her to do so, she conspired to cut all contact with us and use us as a scapegoat for her own actions under the guise of abuse. And after one conversation with Shiley, it didn't matter who we were to her, just as she would have been caught without blaming us and using the manipulation excuse. She carved a path to the best outcome possible for herself and came out of this with more support than ever. As stated in this artist now deleted tweet, Nana removed herself from direct conversation and used emotional language to attack and rally rather than actually caring about fixing the problem. Okay, redacted. I fucking hate that this nanolist removed herself from tag and direct conversation and used emotional language to attack and rally rather than actually caring about fixing. The art that I provided instructions for 7 months, but the focus seems to have shifted away from. Nano has shown herself to be entirely self-serving and opportunistic person, pretending to be meek and whose word means nothing, giving the opportunity to further herself or gain something to her benefit, even at someone else's expense, at the biggest VTuber's expense, or even if it's at the expense of people as supportive as we were to her, she'll take it. I appreciate it. Not gonna lie, shamelessly get all help I can. Yep. The public was lied to about what really happened between myself and Red. Nano wasn't manipulated. She wasn't a victim, and I did not betray Bao or any of my other friends. Sorry, pop the mic. Nanolist betrayed me, and in the end, I was nothing to her, and it was really just business to Nano. Red and I were her most supportive and loyal clients for over 4 years, paying her to be taught how to cut art for art first place, giving her over 100. Hold on. In the end, I was nothing to her. I was really just business to Nano. Red and I were her utmost supportive and loyal clients for over 4 years, paying for her to be taught how to cut art for model rigging in the first place. Wait a minute. Paying for her to be taught how to cut art from. They paid for her teaching model rigging in the first place, giving her over $100,000 to buy her new house, building her career side by side. This is how she thanked us. No matter what Nano did, she will continue to be supported by people she worked with to cancel me, and by the people that want her artistic talent. I will continue to use my art and models from Nanolist until they can be replaced. That is very understandable. I would eventually replace my models by this person as well. In conclusion, Shy Lily. I used to look up to Shy Lily, but now I don't know how anyone can. The yell she holds on her forehead must stand for liar, because Charity was the first person to do so. She had her own grudges against me before this all started, and in true narcissistic fashion, she lied to and manipulated Nano to avoid accountability, turning her against me. She shyly, so of course Nana was going to believe anything she did. The only thing done to shyly was that Red dared to speak about what she was guilty of doing. And though we'd have to consider her competition for her petty, unwarranted behavior towards me, she still expected her own section in my apology, though, as if I had anything to apologize to her for other than not knowing she was what she not knowing she was talked about. She probably just wanted a concession from me. She's the LG behavior towards me. She still expected her own section of my apology, though, as if I had anything to apologize to her for other than not knowing she was talked about. She probably just wanted a concession from me for some narcissistic sense of victory. Charlie wants to claim she sucks at Discord, and Bosca told me that Charlie rarely uses Discord, only for business meetings and stuff. I guess that part was true because this was all just business to her. She had no problem using understanding, navigating, and organizing and communing with a dozen more people in Discord constantly over 2 weeks when it comes to canceling me, but for some reason didn't have the balls to respond when I tried to resolve things between us. From my own experience, her sucking at Discord is an excuse to avoid accountability. For her not to put in the time and energy to talk to people she doesn't feel are worthy of her time, including her friends. Something I was attacked for. I'm confident Shiloh wrote Nano's document for her, used Bao as an emotional centerpiece, and told whatever story she wanted to tell. She hid behind the scenes and kept her hands clean of involvement, staying out of the drama until it came to dunking on my tweet and making sure to stay down. She became the hero, defender of her friends, and turned me into the villain. Shiley protected her own actions and behavior of narcissism, manipulation, jealousy, and avoiding accountability onto me, and convinced all of my friends of it too, while manipulating everyone to believe everything I ever said was me lying through my teeth, words like honey. She threw her morals out the window, lied, and claimed I was trying to deplatform them when Shiley was the one eager to deplatform me. Shiley is deathly afraid of losing relevance, and she gladly conspired to take out the person she felt she was losing relevancy to in her own passion project, and push my cancellation to be done as soon as Bao was out of surgery with Nano's career-ending evidence. No one was going to distrust Shiloh's word or side against her. Her celebrating my cancellation on her stream was justified in the eyes of the public. She misled, all while admitting to slander that started this. Shiloh didn't care about accountability. She was ready for blood, and she got it. It's very easy to lie about someone when the person being lied about is the only one who she can disprove. It's very easy to lie about someone when the person being lied about is the only one who can disprove them, and everyone was manipulated to believe anything they could say in their friends and couldn't be trusted. Twist what really happened to fit a narrative, and then repeat it over and over again until it's believed to be fact. Cinder took no accountability. Cinder knew everything. Cinder betrayed her friends. It's just business. No matter how many times they claim Cinder did this and Cinder did that, it doesn't make any of its actions my actions. And any evidence shown of my actual involvement was near non-existent. Just because they corroborated their stories and told them loudly and emotionally doesn't make them true. If you need to present your evidence dishonestly, out of order, out of context, even doctoring it, and then making claims that evidence does not even show, then maybe the evidence isn't reliable and the real story is different from the story being told. This was a witch hunt, and everyone involved just wanted to move on from it as soon as I was gone. Yep. my assumptions about Shy Lily and Nano were correct. And I'm going to state this again very clearly. What Shy Lily and Nano listed, I don't care if they lie to each other. Both of them are complicit, and I wholeheartedly believe Nano and Shy Lily manipulated everyone else. What those two snakes did was evil. Both of them purposely and maliciously lied about Cinder and started a witch hunt. And all because Shy Lily was jealous that Cinder. I'm guessing all of this was. I'm guessing she wanted. I'm guessing, and with all the evidence proven, my assumptions were correct that Shy Lily did all of this, ruined Cinder's career, tried to poach the Pyro Pups, encouraged them to burn or give away Cinder's merch. I believe all of it was because she was salty and jealous the fact that Cinder had more popular cards than her in her own passion project. And I do believe it was also out of jealousy that Cinder had a bigger stake in the company that Shy Lily was a part of before. And ultimately, I do believe that she was jealous that Cinder was taking more incentives with the company than she was. And instead of taking her own incentives to actually one up Cinder, she decided to try to tear. Well, she did. She took the opportunity to lie, slander, and destroy someone's name, which I'm just going to say this here. What Nano and Shy Lily both did by murdering Cinder's name like that, in the eyes of God, that is considered murder because you are murdering and slandering someone else's name. And that is straight up evil. I'm going to be blunt. No one should take what Shy Lily says at face value anymore. Shy Lily is a liar and manipulative snake in the grass. Same with Nano. Anyway, it is past 4 o'clock my time, and I've got a stream to get to. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. I want to thank everyone for being here. And anyway, I will continue with the Silver Veil portion of the document tomorrow after I get back from church. And again, thank you all for being here. I'll see you in the next one. It's Router. I'm out.